All right, guys. Sorry, I locked myself out of the other computer to get myself on in. So give me. We may have a live stream issue today. I don't know why it's locked or my password didn't work. Good news was my key card worked, so that was good.
Oh man. Oh, they're down bad.
Who?
Kentucky.
Ah, yeah.
I'm just going through this Twitter thread.
Which one are you on?
I don't know. Let's see. It was.
You gotta read the. You gotta watch a little bit of that video that KSR put out.
I think I saw it. I saw it. Let's do Gamecock Larry, and then let's see.
Yeah, guys. Again, a reminder. I'm going to keep this on for now, but you're not going. You'll probably be able to hear Preston, but you won't be able to hear Gamecock Larry coming up because I'm locked out of my computer to get the sound in. So you have to give me a minute. Might be a listening the actual way, radio or stream. 6:18 on a Monday morning. Thanksgiving week. Get up, get at them. Hope you're doing well this morning. Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen, as we get you going here after a interesting but keyword Gamecock victory, or keyword, what do you want to call that? Just phrase, Gamecocks win, Gamecock victory. That's the key part right there of it.
That's the only part, Bill.
That's the part that
There is
matters.
not even a key part. It's the only thing that matters.
There you go. And they get the job done. 17-14, Spencer Rattler comes through when it matters most. Xavier Legette makes an incredible play, and very good for the Gamecocks. And we will brag about that one day. We'll enjoy it. We'll do it a little bit tomorrow, and then we'll shift and look ahead to what I'm sure Preston will say will be the biggest game of Shane Beamer's tenure.
I don't have to say it.
You already know it.
It's a fact.
Okay, well, we'll get to that. But as you said, let's
100% factoid.
let's celebrate.
Mhm.
Let's celebrate all we can for about 3 hours here on this program, a little bit tomorrow, and then we will look ahead to the weekend. Let's get out to a man who celebrates each and every day, regardless of what happens with South Carolina. Gamecock Larry, how you feeling this morning? What did you want to do after this? After this, what did you want to do?
Let's see if we can go down this.
You want to go through the Kentucky anger?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
Got to give credit to the basketball teams, the men's basketball team. Yeah. Y'all not listen or read what's at the bottom? Can y'all not read what I put at the bottom? I know you can't. I got to get into my computer. There you go. There is a man that he did sound very good. He did sound it. I tell you, that also the sign of a rivalry when you can win, and Gamecock Larry sounds that good on a Monday morning.
You feel good about it. You feel good about it. Is Mark Stoops going to suffer the fatal South Carolina fate, that the blow that we've dealt to several other major head coaches upon losing to South Carolina? Is he going down this path?
What is that?
Well, I mean, we can ask Will Muschamp how that works out for him. We could ask Dan Mullen how that works out for him when you lose to South Carolina late in the season.
I don't think Stoopsy has anything to worry about. I think he's okay. With that being said, Preston, have you seen some headlines that?
Well, there's two sick things you can do. There's one, you can go listen to the opponent's talk radio show after a game just to see what the feeling is getting. Or, as I've chosen to do, you could go a deep dive down the Twitter rabbit holes.
All right.
Some of these.
You go Twitter. I'll go message. I'll go with some of the message boards here. You can start.
Well, first and foremost, did you know statistically, Mark Stoops is 7-6 since he signed that new contract?
Yeah.
So now we're questioning money. So this is the first stages of the seat getting hot. We're questioning the money. 7-6 since he signed that most recent contract. Okay. That's something.
All right.
I don't know if you remember earlier this year when Mark Stoops made the comment after they played Georgia, how the Kentucky fans need to pony up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he talked about ponying up. Well, a lot of Kentucky fans are not happy about that comment. And they said he needs to pony up. And he needs to win some ball games. This is Jason, the UK fan, who has a blue check mark since he means nothing on Twitter anymore. But he says, Mark, we need a divorce. I've been with you all the way, and I appreciate everything. I don't have bad feelings at all, but you can't recruit quarterbacks and wide receivers. So that's another thing. This other Twitter, Kelly Schramm, she says, Kentucky is measurably better than South Carolina. What is happening? Now, I believe that was at halftime of the game. If I'm looking at my statistics, if I'm looking at the way the times are set up. Don't get me wrong. I love Mark Stoops, but he deserves heavy criticism for this season. Poor clock management, lack of discipline have been a consistent theme all year. Coaching is the plan. What a disappointing season. Now, it's weird because I feel like if I just took that statement and depending on who won or lost this game by 3 points, if you just switch that name and put Shane Beamer in there, it could have been South Carolina Matthew instead of Kentucky Matthew.
True.
So it's the same statement. You just fix the teams around, and it's all because they lost to us. Starting a promising season 5-0 and possibly wind up 6-6 sounds like Mark Stoops to me.
I wonder. This goes back to a conversation I had on our Firehouse Subs text line early in the season, as it pertained to Kentucky's scheduling. And everybody talked about, oh, we should play three cupcakes to open the season. We should play three cupcakes, and maybe that still holds true. I don't know, but like it was Alan on our text line who was arguing with me, like this is why you play three cupcakes. Well, now that they've faced their schedule, their actual schedule. Now people are like, oh, wait a minute, we weren't actually that good. We just beat up on cupcakes. Now, in Kentucky's defense, they are bowl eligible. They will go play in a bowl game, even if they lose. Obviously, they're 6-5 at this point. But to me, this is when you know that you've created a rivalry because fans are short for fanatical and everything.
Mhm.
When the opposing beat writers write articles like this, three takeaways from Kentucky's unacceptable loss
Oh yeah.
to South Carolina.
Mhm.
Sloppy performance calls Kentucky against mediocre South Carolina football team.
Yes.
Those two were the two that stood out in particular. And then again, it's really hard to read because it's the video, but it's the Kentucky Sports Radio, and the guys standing on the sideline after, like, just I don't know what it is, but when you lose to South Carolina, things just have to change.
I told you. I'm telling y'all, they don't think they should lose to us. This Twitter has a picture and it says Mark Stoops against everyone other than Vanderbilt in Florida, and has a picture of Joker Phillips, who's the previous Kentucky head coach, who was not very good. Um, and it goes on and on and on and on. This is unexcusable, but I can't believe the calls for his job. So there you have the fan base. And this is also for all of us Gamecock fans, for y'all out there who say, "Oh, we're the worst fan base and we overreact to everything." No, it's not just us. Everybody does it everywhere. And so right now everybody is sort of I guess they're having a period of resignment that they lost to us, because they feel like this should not happen.
Well, here's another. This is Matt Jones, who's kind of the leader of the Kentucky Sports Radio. He says, most dejected I have ever heard Stoops on the postgame show. He says it's probably the toughest loss of his career. 803-404-6100. It is just poor Kentucky fans this morning.
rough Monday for the Kentucky
This is
folks.
another. Matt Jones was just awful, or excuse me, was just incredible on Twitter on Saturday night. Says Kentucky almost had to try and lose this game, and it did. Going to be hard to get the fan base ready for the UL game or a bowl.
Mark Stoops is the best modern coach in school history. At the same time, these last 2 years, losing against South Carolina, have been inexcusable, and he needs to be held accountable.
803-404-6100. We, on the other hand, are in a very good mood this morning.
We are.
We'll get into some numbers, some notes. We'll give you all that as we roll along. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, she's Jen Jensen. It's the early game. All right, that's going to be on, so we got to remember not to. Can't cut you guys off during the break right now, so you get to interact with us. I'm trying to get Preston actually on here so that y'all can hear both of us. But yeah,
I can do my slide in like Chris Collinsworth.
yeah. I don't know, RL. We do need to put a tree up. Yeah. Yeah. At least we ain't Auburn. We'll get to that. We got all that coming up.
Yes.
I'll have to play a little bit more off of my phone this morning then, because right now we got that. I need to. All right. The bad news is right now, if I don't get it fixed, y'all will not hear Jamie Bradford. You will have to go to the to the stream or whatever. But it's telling me it's telling me I am locked out. So let me see if I can. Only 3 lives today. That's interesting. Let me see.
Oh man, this is when you're really bad. This dude called it. As soon as the Sandman comes on, Mark Stoops loses all the discipline and execution. It's Sandstorm, sir. I don't care. Sandstorm, Sandman, whatever. Oh yeah.
Hey, this is on. I have somehow locked. I don't know why my password didn't work on the main computer. I might need yours actually. I wonder if I can use yours and just get it going. Can you try
to get what going?
just the live stream here? You able to log in real quick right here to your. I can't log in. I can't log into mine for some reason. See if you can.
You know, Terry had trouble getting into his computer. He had to leave the game early to come back and merge the log.
Yeah, Jennifer. All right, there I can at least get on the live stream from there.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, obviously mine, only one digit goes up every time. So it's not like, I don't know what was the problem.
Well, I said he had login trouble too, so, but it was on his laptop, but it was still getting into the system. And he couldn't do anything to change it or anything, so he said he had to leave the studio.
I wonder, like, now I got to figure out how to change my, because now it says I'm locked out. So I got to figure out how to change my password.
Yeah. Because I don't know if you can control alt delete? Obviously, you can't when you're logged into me, but.
Yeah. I don't know. I've got
that. You still have to be able to get in to get to the self-service, whatever.
I mean, I can kind of get them from my phone, but I'm not sure where this. I'm not even sure where the self-service is. Up and Adam on a Monday, and the fun should continue tonight. Want to remind you right here on 107.5 The Game, coming up at 6:30, we will have women's basketball. Dawn Staley and her ball club now continuing to be ranked number 1 in the country out for that 109-40 thumping of the Clemson Tigers. They will take on South Dakota State. The Jackrabbits coming up tonight, Colonial Life Arena, pregame right here on 107.5 The Game, beginning at 6:30, tip time 7 o'clock. We will have you ready for that, and we'll get you a whole lot of other neat things going on throughout the week as well. 803-404-6100, how you can weigh in if you want to do so this morning. And it was a fun an interesting night. I don't know if it was fun for the second and the third quarter.
Yeah, that's not how those games typically play out. I don't think fun would be the word that you would describe it as when you play those types of games. But all's well that ends well, Bill.
What do you got?
Let's go with some numbers. Before we get to my actual numbers, here's a number to start us off with. Bill, do you know how much money a grand is?
1,000, right?
Yeah. Well, this fan would offer Mark Stoops $1,000 a month to punch Shane Beamer in the face because apparently Shane is very annoying and we just beat you all. Nah, 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 nah.
That's how I'm telling you. This the more I look at it, the more you really look at it and analyze it, the more you realize how much of a rivalry this really should be.
Out there on the field. Like you saw just a little more.
Real quick, before we get to numbers, real quick, your thoughts on the Debo Williams as a defensive player. I feel like I know where you're going to go with this, but the Debo Williams late hit that led to some back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the game. I'm here for it. Maybe it was a little bit. Again, we talked about those players who play to the echo of the whistle. If you watch Debo all year, that shouldn't be surprising to you. That's sort of what it is. Leads to a little bit of back and forth, but no, we're all good.
It shouldn't have been. He did not give himself up in time. Is that fair? I feel like this is a very careful take. You almost might agree with.
Here's the thing about giving yourself up in time. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? I mean, don't get me started on how they can give themselves up, but then sometimes they like to run people over, but sometimes they want to stiff arm you. Then they want to, because Spencer likes to do this a lot. He likes to be big bad quarterback until it's time to get tackled, and then he begs for calls. That's what quarterbacks do. Like Spencer, I feel you. You can sling the rock around. You're one of the best quarterbacks we ever had, but you talk a lot of trash for a guy who's infinitely protected by the powers of the yellow flags. Don't get me started on quarterbacks. All right. We was doing well. Then you got me started on quarterbacks who beg for calls.
Okay, so you unfortunately kind of all right. I'm with you. All right. Okay. So what's your number here?
So we got the numbers. I got one number broken down several different ways. And the first one we're gonna go with my number is 3.
Okay.
And that's gonna be, let's start simple. 3 is gonna be for turnovers. The opportunities to create change within the game in some big moments was huge for this team. Yeah, Nick Emmanwori make a play that he hasn't made all season and getting that interception. That is a play that he's been close to making, but hasn't quite made. You have Tonka getting an interception, which Tonka's filling out a little stat line there with he has touchdowns, interceptions, fumble recoveries, filling out the stat line. But the interception was built on the idea of they were getting pressure from the quarterback. So that sends another thing. So my number is going to be 3 as far as turnovers are concerned. Also because in the past 3 games, South Carolina has had, if it counted up, we've had 10 turnovers in the past 3 games. We talked about earlier in the season how this defense was predicated on them being able to get turnovers. Earlier in the season, they were not able to get them. They've gotten them in the past 3 games in the score and the amount of 10, and obviously this leads to them winning this point.
12.
Okay.
And this popped up on Twitter only to then be deleted. That's the number of carries Ray Davis had on Saturday night. Devin Leary threw it 34 times. If South Carolina had maintained that 10-point spread, pushed it to 14, if they'd have scored, if they'd have gone up 79, I understand Devin Leary throwing it 34 times. Ray Davis is one of the best backs in the SEC. 12 carries, 61 yards. He was averaging 5.1 yards a carry. Now, in defense, 1 carry, 31 yards, touchdown. 11 carries, 30 yards. So that 12, I think, Preston, is an interesting number because if you look at the totality of that statistic, 12 carries, 61 yards, you're like, man, 5.1 yards a carry. He was cooking. Should have let him keep cooking. Why would you not get in the ball? But then you say, oh, wait a minute. Like we've done this with Mario Anderson a couple times where he had 100 yards, but 1 carry was 75 yards. Like, what was it? The same thing against Vanderbilt last week where 1 carry was 72 yards.
It's very similar this week also.
And so with all that, yeah, because South Carolina's is 33 carries, 50 yards in that contest, and a lot of that was Spencer Rattler. But of course, Spencer Rattler also lost that 21-yard sack that took South Carolina out of field goal range in the third quarter that we won't discuss just because they won. But it's an interesting way to look at it, because if you look at the box score, you go, ooh, 12 for 61, man, oh man, like, why didn't they give Ray Davis the ball? And he put out a tweet about it.
Oh, did he?
And then deleted it.
What did he say? Give me the ball? Or did he just put the number 12? Because that's what he's fair. He's not wrong in that, because Kentucky, that's Kentucky football, and they got away from that. Even early in the game, in the very first possession, when I noticed that Kentucky was running a tempo, they was trying to run tempo and they went 3 and out. Like, what are they doing? That's not Kentucky football. And this is the second year in a row that Kentucky has come out, tried to do something out of character against South Carolina. If you remember last year, they tried to run that reverse pass or something like that, where they had a fumble, and it seemed very much unnecessary. I don't know what they were doing or what the game plan was, but the idea of them getting into a tempo type of offense, they did it the first 2 possessions, went 3 and out. That's not what makes them successful at all.
Yeah, it was, again, a night in which I don't know if Liam Cohen thought, hey, South Carolina's defense, the pass defense has really struggled. They had some guys open deep, but they couldn't connect. Jalen Kilgore did get back a few times to not just make it an easy pass and catch, but they were able to get a couple guys open deep a few times and just couldn't make it pay off. But I think it's interesting, again, to look at that number, because South Carolina on Saturday night, fairly good job overall stopping the run. I mean, I think by and large you would take the statistic: 27 carries for 122 yards. Now that is a 4.5 yard per carry average, but again, you take away a 131 yard run and 121 yard, 52 yards basically coming on 2 of the 27 carries.
That leads us to my next number, and the number again is 3 for 3-man front. You saw South Carolina run a 3-man front almost exclusively this game. Something they've been toying around with is a 3-3-5 type of defense. One of my friends called me, one of my old teammates, and he called me. He's like, hey, man, they running Jacks 3, which was our old defense where we used to run under Charlie Strong, which was just three linebackers, 3 down linemen. They ran that exclusively this week, and you saw a little bit more activity. You had Alex Boogie Huntley at the nose guard, Ben Martin Scott coming off the edge, being a little bit more active. Sometimes throughout a season, you play your way into having an idea. And I'm going to give credit to Clayton White and staff for finding something that was working, because the defense was atrocious earlier in the season. There's no doubt about that. They're still not great. But the point is, they found something that at least the players are buying into. The coaches have found a way, and maybe they just have breathed some new life into that team. So that 3-man front was really interesting, because they didn't use it as a changeup this week. They started out in it, and they stayed in the 3-man front the majority of the game.
I'll give you one. Well, let's hit a break. We got to do that. I got one more number for you. I got a couple, actually, but I got a big one that I want a defensive player's take on. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, she's Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
Yes, that phone in your pocket or purse will keep you in touch with your family and friends. It will take great selfies of you on amazing adventures or just this morning's breakfast. And it's pretty good in case of an emergency. But the single most important function of your phone is the game.
But both defenses have been this year. What's so funny?
The noise. You can listen anywhere. Just go to iTunes or Google Play and download the Game app now.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by Fairfield by Marriott, official hotel partner of the NCAA. Chargers led the big losers yesterday. They dropped another heartbreaker, this time to the Packers. Zach Wilson was finally benched as Nathaniel Hackett's prevent offense reached a boiling point, and Washington gifted the Giants 24 points off of 6 turnovers. I'm Boomer Esiason. CBS Sports Radio.
Get the home field advantage every time with Fairfield by Marriott, official hotel partner of the NCAA. Whether you're a student athlete working toward your championship dreams or your team's biggest fan, Fairfield by Marriott has everything you need to get ready for game day. From comfortable guest rooms to complimentary hot breakfast, Fairfield is part of the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio of hotels and official hotel partner of the NCAA. Visit fairfield.marriott.com to book your next game day stay.
Black Friday is now a game day. The Dolphins take on the Jets in the first ever Black Friday NFL game. Stream for free only on Prime. Black Friday football. Dolphins versus Jets. Coverage begins this Friday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Only on Prime. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/watch Black Friday football for details.
Snakes, rodents, and mold all live and grow beneath your home and eventually will find their way inside. Canty Foundation Specialist is your local trusted expert in crawl space sealing. Call us today for a free estimate.
Canty can fix it.
Moisture and high humidity in your crawl space create an environment for mold and mildew and affect the air you breathe inside your home. Call Canty for a free inspection today at 753-1495 or visit cantycanfixit.com.
Shop Black Friday every day and get the best new deals all month long only at Lowe's. Right now, buy one DeWalt 20-volt max 4-tool combo kit. Get 2 select tools free. That's up to a $438 value. Plus, get up to 50% off select vanities, faucets, and shower heads. Shop in-store and online today because Lowe's knows deals. Valid through 11/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Oh, this cold.
Honey?
Honey?
Honey, you need DayQuil Severe Honey.
DayQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste because life doesn't stop for a cold.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
No, I'm getting a cold.
Honey.
Try DayQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu relief. DayQuil Severe with honey flavor. The daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, honeylicious, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
To some, this might sound like a typical family dog. But at Dog Chow, we know that for a veteran suffering from PTSD, this could be the sound of life-saving therapy.
Thanks, Betty.
That's why we've made it our mission to connect every military hero in need with a canine hero of their own. To learn about the simple ways you can help Dog Chow in our mission, visit dogchow.com/veterans.
Sponsored by Purina.
It's Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by Carolina Honda Powerhouse. CarolinaHonda.com.
Your home of the Gamecocks in the Midlands. 107.5 The Game. Also heard on the Grand Strand at 100.3 The Game. And in the PD at 100.5 The Game in Florence.
.649 on a Monday morning, Thanksgiving week. Hope you're up and at 'em, doing well this morning. As we were going through a couple numbers, I got one more. I have two kind of, but I'll kind of combine them here for a second. The first one is 5. It's really 5 and 5, and then it goes 46 and 36. And I'll tell you what those are because I thought this was fascinating in looking over the stats. And I don't know if this is normal, but it stood out to me. I don't know if this is normal or I don't know if this is a testament to improving during the season as far as tackling goes. 5 and 5 is Bam Martin's total number of tackles. All 5 were solo tackles. South Carolina, according to the ESPN statistics from Saturday night, had 46 tackles, Preston Thorne, 46 tackles. 36 were solo tackles. That to me, and I'm interested in your defensive take, is impressive because that's one-on-one situations and getting a guy to the ground without the help of your teammates. It feels like we've talked a lot about the tackling for South Carolina and not getting guys to the ground, and that was a big part Saturday night. A lot of one-on-one opportunities in the box or in certain situations, and South Carolina is able to do it. And I don't know if that's a good stat. I don't know if you say the guys aren't rallying to the ball enough. I was interested in hearing your take, and I don't know if that's something that's common where you see more solo tackles than you, or is that many solo tackles out of the total number of tackles.
Yeah, I would traditionally, the way I would look at it, I tend to view that statistic as not a good thing.
Really?
As you would want more people rallying to the ball, especially against a team like Kentucky that plays very much contained. Now, if you have that amount of solo tackles against Tennessee where they spread the ball out and you really are making those tackles in tremendous amount of space, then I would lend credence to that. But for me, I would like to see that number a little bit lower. However, to your point, the flip side of that is, especially if you think about like in Bam Martin Scott's case, when they did have an opportunity to make a tackle, if he's on the edge, making the tackle in space, that is a positive thing. So when I tend to view it, I look at it as we need more people to the ball, less solo tackles. But if you're making tackles in space, we'll take it.
The other part of that, 293. That's the total yards Kentucky had. Because I think it's another bad thing if you're looking at 400 or 5. If you're looking at 400 or 500, you're like, whoa. So, but 293 also tells me it wasn't like these guys were running loose, wide open because you missed tackles. You were able to get them. I don't know what. I looked yesterday. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. I couldn't ever find the total number of missed tackles. I thought that would have been a really interesting number to throw out when I saw those as well. 803-404-6100. It's Thanksgiving week, and you got depth charts.
Depth charts. First depth chart of the week. We'll have one every day of the week. But for our first depth chart of the week, we're going to start with the star of the show, Bill. Need you to send your depth charts in. How do you prepare turkey for Thanksgiving Day? Give me your depth chart. Obviously, there's all types of ways. We've had fried, we've had roasted, we had smoked, barbecued, shredded. How are you preparing turkey? Give me your depth charts for turkey preparation for this week. Bill, would you like to start off?
Well, yes.
And you can put an or. This is an or is acceptable on this depth chart. An or is acceptable.
I still go with the fried, but I mean, I think this needs a caveat to it because I think you need that. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this to change it just a little bit because I'm kind of more interested in what you do to season the turkey.
Well, no,
I'll tell you why,
we can't get the seasoning yet because everybody doesn't do fried. And
that's the thing because
I need to see the consensus of what people are doing.
This is where I push back a little bit because I think how you season determines how you cook.
Okay.
Because if you were to just say like, I'm not as crazy about smoked turkey. I've tried it twice. I like the deep fried because I like a little bit more of the crisp. Now, maybe I didn't. Maybe the smoked wasn't seasoned the way I wanted. Maybe you didn't have enough on the outside to crisp it up, give it that crispy skin. But I go crispy skin on the outside.
So
I want a little
crispy skin.
Yeah, so I go with the fried.
You can achieve that through smoking. You can achieve that in roast. So I think that can all be achievable, but it all depends on now. And also, we're assuming top tier preparation, right? We're not going to put your top fried against the dried roasted turkey that was in the for 10 hours. We're not doing that. But top tier preparation. If everybody's playing their best, what is the depth chart?
Goes with 12-pound turkey in the smoker for about 7 hours at 225 with a blend of apple and pecan wood chips.
Okay,
I like that. It's a good one.
Smoker's your starter. Okay.
I'd go probably as far as depth chart. I'd go fried, smoked, and then really I guess oven. I don't know. I'm sure there's a third way to do it that I'm unfamiliar with.
Oven's relegated to bench status.
You're asking my depth chart. You're asking my depth chart.
Your depth chart.
And Saturday. Go ahead. What's yours? Because I'm going to explain that a little bit more.
I'm a hold mine. I want to see folks come in. All right, I want to see folks come in, but it feels like the oven has been relegated.
I think so. I feel
like the oven has been relegated. So any staunch oven defenders, please step up.
Big Rich weighs in, says, "Do we brine or not?"
That's a possibility.
That's key. And
but that can take care of all of them.
And then Chris goes with Creole seasoning rub, Creole butter injection, cooked in a big, easy cooker. It fries without cooking it in oil.
Okay.
We got a lot of them. We'll get to a bunch of these. You're listening to the early game. Bill Gunner for Love Chevrolet. That's right. Going out and purchasing a car this time of the season, it can be stressful. You're trying to save money for the holidays. You're thinking about the great food you're going to prepare. And now you're going to go purchase a car. It's a big purchase. It's going to cost some money. But at Love Chevrolet, they understand that. That's why they don't sell above MSRP and why they offer you the $1,000 low price guarantee, which means you can shop other dealerships and take their deal back to the folks at Love Chevrolet, and they will top it. So there's no need to stress out and worry about the price of a brand new car, truck, or SUV. When you visit Love Chevrolet, you're getting the absolute best deal. Not only that, but they have the largest selection of vehicles, 14 acres to be exact. You're going to find that car, truck, or SUV And again, what stands out the most? The customer service. Serving people in the Midlands for over 60 years, doing it the right way. That's why I trust Love Chevrolet each and every time I need to purchase a car. That's why you should as well. So get out to Love Chevrolet today and find new roads.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studios. This is 1075 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Your attention is precious. Blue Cross and Blue Shield Federal Employee Program works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important, like dinner with loved ones. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at fepblue.org.
When it comes to comfort, you can rely on Brian's Heating and Cooling. Here's Tara Davis.
I came home from a vacation one summer and our air was out. I called Brian and they responded promptly and were able to take care of the problem. Since then, they are my go-to heating and cooling resource. Because of their service agreement, it gives me peace of mind. I know if I have any issues, I can call them and they'll respond promptly. I love having that trust and confidence in their service.
Call Brian's Heating and Cooling at 796-1788.
Bill Gunner, my great friend, Dr. Dan Balknight with the Men's Clinic. The Men's Clinic is a local clinic with a well-respected physician in Dr. Balknight that will oversee your health care. It's not like programs you see online. This will be tailored to your individual needs. So contact the Men's Clinic today, 803-875-MENS. Again, that's 803-875-MENS, or you can visit them on the web and learn more. mensclinicsc.com.
Okay.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, this is Lisa Hostetler Brown. If you or a loved one are over 65 and haven't completed a long-term care planning consultation, now is the time. Did you know that if you aren't able to afford the high cost of skilled care, your assets can be rapidly depleted to only $2,000 unless you plan 5 years in advance? Visit lawyerlisa.com to see how we can help.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
1075 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Looking at Beatty Road between Eve and Fernandina Road. An accident reported. Also still working on I-77 northbound at Bluff Road. And your forecast for today, 66 will be our high with some mix of clouds and sun. And tomorrow we do see rain coming in, 69 for the high, overnight low of 56. And then Wednesday, 66 will be our high. And then it cools down a little bit. Overnight low of only about 41. So get a little bit cooler in the morning hours for us. But right now, it's not too shabby. It is 53 on the early game.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
Hey, this is Michi Johnson here, South Carolina point guard, and you're listening to 1075 The Game, home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
It's Reaction Monday. Tell us all about it.
50 at the 30 of Tennessee at the 20. Mario Anderson goes 75 yards. Are you kidding me?
Sponsored by Carolina Honda Powerhouse, your local Honda superstore for motorcycles, ATVs, side-by-sides, scooters, and generators. CarolinaHonda.com.
Your home of the Gamecocks in the Midlands. 1075 The Game. Also heard on the Grand Strand at 100.3 The Game. And in the PD at 100.5 The Game in Florence.
This Preston is where we come up with the early game cookbook here. Chuck weighs in, depth charts. And I like this. Thank you all for kind of catering to both of us this morning, because I like to know what you season or how you inject or what you do to your turkey. That's, to me, a big part of it. Chuck on our live stream says, I season it with olive oil, inject it with a garlic butter sauce, and hit it heavy was Slap Your Mama.
Mhm.
The season, yep.
Mhm.
Deep fry it 3 minutes per pound plus an extra 5 minutes. Then multiple of y'all weighing in on the text line. Anonymous texture, smoked turkey, Tony C's Creole butter injection, holy voodoo seasoning from Meat Church, and last 20 minutes hit with a maple bourbon glaze.
How do you prepare it though? Smoking?
Yeah,
Frying?
smoked.
Okay.
Smoked turkey.
I need a depth chart though. I love the recipes coming in. I'm taking notes, obviously, but I need depth charts because I feel like what you would be doing to me if I was the oven sitting in your room as a player, you'd be telling me all the reasons why you're playing this other player, but you haven't said anything to me. I need to know, as the oven sitting in your room, are you just going to tell me all about this deep fryer who's going to get all the snaps and all the reps? Meanwhile, old faithful oven been sitting here serving you for the last 100 years and you just don't have nothing to say?
I think now there's some of you out there that are fancy. Jen, do you have 2 ovens in your house?
No, we just have the one.
Okay. You've seen these. I've seen, people
Double
have the
ovens.
double oven.
Mhm.
I think that's part of it. I think the oven has just been replaced. And I think the majority, not all, but the majority of us listening here like cooking outdoors. You like cooking outdoors. And I think there's now something to that. I was trying to look up the weather, and joining us now.
So you telling me the oven just can't play in today's modern Thanksgiving offense?
I think the oven
it's like a
But I
fullback.
think climate depends
the
too.
the fullback or the wishbone offense.
The oven is just like a fullback.
The wing T offense. Jamie Bradford, do you remember the last time you used an oven for a turkey, either Thanksgiving or other?
It's been a while. But we are doing that this year though, because my mom's bringing it and she stuffs it and puts it in the oven.
Okay.
But
All right.
usually I'm a fryer or a smoker.
See, I'm telling you, I think that the oven, I think the oven is the wing T offense of turkey cook. Plus, I think you're putting more of your dishes in there, your casseroles, your everything that you're warming up or heating up goes in the oven. So unless you have 2 ovens, I think it makes it very difficult to regulate the heat. They did back in the old days, obviously. Somehow they made it work.
Exactly, Bill. They didn't have 2 ovens back then. They barely had 1. What do we talk about? I feel as if I did not wake up knowing that this was going to be my cause for the day. But am I going to go to defending ovens, the proper place of ovens and where they need to be mounted in Thanksgiving preparation?
I think
like the fullback needs to be in modern offenses. Is that what we're doing today?
I think Jamie Bradford, what you get here is the Liam Cohen of offenses. One of the great tweets I saw was, most teams run 2 plays in the time it takes Kentucky to run 1 play. They were so unhappy. Jamie, Saturday night, the name of the game is winning. Survive and advance, and South Carolina did it 17-14. That was the main. That's what you accomplished. You now keep the season's dreams alive, and let's be honest, beating Clemson and becoming bowl eligible. Well, I know that a lot of fans would have much rather won 8 or 9 games and beaten Clemson, but this is also about as best as you can ask for, beating the Tigers to become bowl eligible.
Well, I mean, from where you started to where you could finish, it would be really kind of a dream. And you can just tell that this football program, once they turned the page in November, they knew that they had 4 straight home games. That obviously was important to them. They had found ways, and they've all publicly said it, to just kind of stay in that bubble. Don't listen to the idiots like me, and don't look at Twitter. And of course, I've never really bagged them publicly, but you know what I'm saying. Don't look at Twitter and all this other stuff. All these coaches out there that don't know what they're talking about. Don't look at all that. Look at each other and figure it out. And they've done it. And hats off to the defense for getting, in my mind, their first win of the season for the program.
I think that's the impressive thing. Preston and I kind of talked about this. You hold Kentucky under 300 yards for the game, 293. It was really actually a fairly good defensive performance against the run. Ray Davis had the 31-yard touchdown carry. That would have made it 26 carries for just 91 yards. If you take that run out, that would be pretty solid. And then they had one other run for 21 yards on Saturday night. That would have taken away another set, and you would have had 25 carries for just 70 yards. I'm with you. We've at times questioned and criticized Clayton White, I think you do have to give him a lot of credit for the game plan on Saturday night with the 3-3-5, getting Bam Martin Scott in there. And also, both of you, I know I've been on this bandwagon a good bit, but I felt like Saturday night was kind of his own coming out party because of the way they played up front. Travian Robertson is developing a unit up there. He is developing a defensive line that I think South Carolina, if he can get in there and recruit, that's going to be the big thing for him moving forward. Continuing to bring in some very good players to develop them. Jamie, I'll start with you, and then Preston, our defensive line guru. What Travian Robertson's doing quietly with that defensive line is very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it was just going to be. I mean, obviously, Preston can speak about this more than any of us can collectively, but it was just really a matter of time. I mean, you know, it's not, you don't get to wave a magic wand and all that type of stuff. We get that. So, you know, he had his work cut out for him to get those guys to kind of take on his personality. And you know, Preston, I guess it takes time to be able to do that. But, you know, those guys they've been playing meaner, it seems. And hey, look, man, the results are there. They've given up 20 total points as a defense in the last 2 weeks. And while somebody might dismiss that as it being only Vanderbilt or only Kentucky, you know, the Gamecocks held both of them, Vanderbilt to their lowest point total of the year, and the Wildcats to their second lowest, just behind Georgia. So, yeah, this group has played really, really well, and Travian Robertson certainly has a ton to do with that.
Yeah, and I would say even when you get down into the minutia of what they're doing, they've went from playing two completely different techniques. If you think of what Boogie Huntley's done, he started, and let's get football nerdy here. Boogie Huntley started the season. Majority of those guys started playing in a shade technique, which is on the shoulder of the center in a gap scheme, which is one way to play. But now when this three-man front, he's had to line up in a head-up nose against the center, controlling essentially two gaps. And it's just a totally different technique. And so for Travian Robinson to be able to coach them through that and for them to be able to have success with that up front has really been impressive to me.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jamie.
I would say guys, you put that added athleticism on the field where guys are kind of growing up. You know, obviously Bam is continuing to get a bunch of coverage, but you've got, first of all, you have guys playing confidently, which matters most importantly, and then you're bringing that athleticism out there. I mean, it's definitely a little bit of a different look, but I mean, more than anything, like, we can get into the specifics. I feel like all we want to, 4-2 and 3-3-5, 3-4, you know, whatever you want to do. People love those types of conversations, and I understand it. At the end of the day, though, it's a defense right now that's got some confidence. And I mean, like, they didn't have any from the get-go. You know, they would have spurts here and there where they played well, but mostly now you're talking about 8 straight quarters of just really good defensive football. And if you want to add the end of the Jacksonville State game into there, you can do that as well. And guys, it's 9 turnovers in the last 3 games. Let's not forget that, because I was on your program just a couple of weeks ago before they played Jacksonville State, and we made the point that, hey, look, you can go back over the last 3 years, and it's been proven that this team does not get turnovers. They don't really play that well. They get beat. The defensive side of the football just doesn't do a whole lot. Well, they've won 3 straight games, and they have 9 turnovers in those 3 straight games combined. And look at the record. So that's who they are. And if they can get 2 or 3 more coming up this weekend against the Tigers, you might be able to feel pretty good about that one too.
803-404-6100. Maria weighing in on our live stream, and maybe a very good hot take. She said, let's be real. Cooking turkeys outside got husbands around the world more involved. Mama has the kitchen to herself.
I can see it. It's just like, go on out there, do your thing out there. Please leave us alone in here. Please don't be lurking over around in the kitchen. Very fair point, Maria.
803-404-6100. We'll give you more turkey talk, as well as we'll get into some basketball talk. A very good weekend for Lamont Paris. The quarter zip was in full force over the weekend.
Does anybody want to defend Ovens out there? I feel like we're struggling here. Anybody just go run the old traditional I formation with the fullback putting the turkey in the
I don't think you can go wrong with it.
There you go.
803-404-6100. We'll oven talk, turkey talk, basketball talk, football talk. Guys, it's the best time of the Best time of the year. This is my Christmas. 803-404-6100. It's the early game.
Ever sit in this meeting?
What would you say you do here?
I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that?
Think to yourself, man, I'd rather be listening to the game.
You're listening to Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
Well, just go to iTunes or Google Play and download our app on all of your devices, and you'll never be without the game again.
Hi, my name is John, and I'm self-employed, and we got sidetracked on our taxes at the 2008 recession, and it became a monster that we couldn't tackle ourselves. We heard about the Ecton Law Firm on the radio and contacted John. If you could classify someone as a miracle worker, I would put him at the top of the list because he took our problem and resolved it for us with our not only our unpaid taxes, but our unfiled tax returns from previous years. And I would highly recommend the Ecton Law Firm.
It's great to know we have changed people's lives for the better. Hi, this is local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. For over a decade, our office has been dedicated to helping hardworking individuals and businesses solve tax problems for good. So if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call our office today at 771-9800 or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Let's get your tax problem solved for good. Call today. You'll be glad you did.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
This is Ricky Rubio, point guard for the Phoenix Suns.
And I'm Holly Robinson Peete, actor and along with Ricky, ambassador for Delivering Jobs. We know that a job is empowering and instills confidence. Yet 81% of adults with developmental differences don't have a paid job, even though companies that employ people with differences report better morale and higher productivity.
There are 6.5 million people in the U.S. with an intellectual or developmental difference such as autism.
And now, thanks to Autism Speaks, Best Buddies, the Holly Rod Foundation, and Special Olympics, there has never been more opportunity to improve hiring practices and build a more inclusive workforce. Join me, Ricky Rubio, and these amazing organizations in supporting and creating pathways to 1 million employment and leadership opportunities for this talented community.
Visit deliveringjobs.org to learn more.
That's deliveringjobs.org.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips for Integrated Media. College and pro football season is here. Are you ready for all the changes to how you view your favorite team's games this season? You know, some college games are only being streamed on ESPN Plus. Are you ready? Did you know Sunday Ticket is moving from DirecTV and only available to stream on newer smart TVs, Apple TVs, and Rokus? Are you ready? Integrated Media is the leader in the latest in streaming technology, and they have the knowledge to set you up for the easiest experience. From upgrading your home's Wi-Fi for strong coverage to watching the game, helping you set up your new ESPN Plus account and Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV. Give the guys a call at 803-948-8327 and be ready for the upcoming season. Integrated Media sells everything from the TV, the speakers, the whole home Wi-Fi, even security cameras, so you don't have to waste time at a big box store. Call them today at 803-948-8327. Secure your football season with Integrated Media.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? I'm Dr. Mark Bentley with Columbia Secret for Weight Loss, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged or boxed meals, no surgery, and no hypnosis, call my office now at 803-824-4210.
Hi, I'm Erica, and if you want to lose weight and fix your metabolism, then this is the program for you. I'm down 30 pounds in 7 weeks. My metabolism is alive again, and I feel great. This system will not let you down.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. It's a half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 803-824-4210. That's 803-824-4210. Or ColumbiaSecretForWeightLoss.com.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Well, things picked up on the highways this morning. We are looking at an accident, Beatty Road between Eve and Fernandina Roads. Also, Cedar Grove Road at Ridge Road in Gilbert. Connie Wright Road at Coon Road. I-20 westbound at Two Notch Road. Also, I-77 northbound at Bluff. They're still working that earlier tie-up. 2 others to let you know about. I-77 southbound at Two Notch Road. And a report of an object on the highway, I-77 southbound, right there at mile marker 4 going over the bridge. Looking for a high today, 66. It's 53 right now.
It's Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by Carolina Honda Powerhouse. CarolinaHonda.com.
Your home of the Gamecocks in the Midlands. 1075 The Game. Also heard on the Grand Strand at 100.3 The Game. And in the PD at 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Happy Thanksgiving week to you. Coming up in the next segment, if Jen reminds me, we're going to put some pressure on Jen. We'll give you a chance to win a pair of tickets to tonight's women's basketball game. Our loyal, sometimes lazy, but our very good loyal sales guy, Josh Yellman, has informed us we have a pair of tickets to give away. We appreciate Josh. You can actually thank Josh Yellman for that, not us. He does a great job. And he has you a pair of tickets. We'll give that away coming up in the next segment. Several people weighing in on our turkey talk. Happy Thanksgiving week. I love, Jamie, Preston, I love this week. And it starts really today. The Maui Invitational gets going. You actually have a potential preview of a Final Four out in Maui. Like the field is that good out there. They're actually not playing in Maui. I think they're playing on one of the other islands that I cannot pronounce, but they are still doing it out there in Hawaii. But you've got basketball during the day. I love that. I love the tournament basketball during the day. We'll talk about South Carolina basketball as well. But then you got turkey talk all week long, just prepping. And several of y'all weighing in. York, bake, fried, roasted. Jason going turkey in the oven. House smells amazing. Family in the kitchen together. Maybe a little bickering, but that's part of it too. Hope is holding out on the Preston Thorne side there. Bake the turkey in the oven is the only way I go. So you still got your oveners out there, your oveners.
I love Jason saying how maybe there's just the vocal minority of you all who are saying how cool your fryers are and your smokers and all your little gadgets. But really, the rest of America is just putting it in the oven. They just don't say it because just the way things are done.
Do you think it's a regional thing? Because back home, we always did it in the oven, and I never knew of anybody, which smokers have come along, and all those types of things. But I would love to poll some people up north, because do they really want to be sitting outside if Thanksgiving it's, 30 degrees out? Do they want to be sitting out doing that? Or would you rather just have the warmth of family in the oven?
Mm-hmm.
Jamie, you're a lifelong Charlestoner, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So weather for Preston, yourself, and myself, not really an issue, because I grew up, my dad, we would go down to Myrtle Beach every year at this time to be with family, and we would be around a bunch of his friends and family, and all I ever remember growing up is watching football while all the guys grabbed their beers and went and stood around multiple, I mean 3 or 4 fryers with the oil and everything,
Yep.
and they would always they'd have 4 because they would always indulge a little bit too much in the beer, and one turkey would be extra well done. So there was always extras.
Well, that's how, and that's just how we do it in the South, man. If you're gonna cook food, you make it an event. You know, you're not just you gotta. I don't know how else to do it. I just have to have something to do. It's an event, so that's what we do.
Let's see, a couple of y'all weighing in, and we'll get into some basketball talk. Jamie says bake it in the oven bag and then broil it to a crisp skin.
See, that's a man that knows the way. Or Jamie, unisex. I don't know if that's man, woman, but you know how to way you work your way around the kitchen. Appreciate your service.
Billy weighing in.
I'll just
go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say I have respect for all of those who make a fabulous turkey in whichever way they make it.
Billy going no turkey, ham, baby, and good win in football. The pesky pole weighing in. Native Northerner, Jen is correct. She is always correct. Settle down, man. It's not that we're not that deep into the week just yet.
I'm digging that. Yeah, let me get that on a show open.
Pesky pole goes turkey in the oven. Monty weighing in. This is a hot take. Turkey is trash. Honey baked ham all the way.
I've seen that take percolating around. I hear you.
Well, we got a text in from Virginia real quick. It says the oven is still alive. Being from Virginia, ham has always been a staple at Thanksgiving. And then depth chart: baked ham, sweet potato casserole, and 3 is stuffed and baked turkey. But you can keep the cranberry sauce.
Whoa.
No.
We have the rest of the week for several more depth charts. We are strictly talking turkey depth charts here.
Yep.
We will have side depth charts later on in the week. Appreciate your service. Come back later in the week so we can have you later.
That's a radio pro right there.
You go.
Don't dump it all out on Monday.
That's
Well
right.
done,
That's right. Thank you, sir.
Right.
Very, very, very smooth. I like that.
Oh, and one more
That's
here.
how you do it.
This is anonymous texter with an 864 number. Going with the oven this year, but wrapping the turkey with bacon. Okay.
Oh,
that's not
Smooth. All right. 803-404-6100. I'll keep getting to those. Let's go back last night or yesterday afternoon. South Carolina knocks off Grand Canyon. And I said this to kind of open in our brief little segment about basketball. Jamie Preston, we had Lamont Paris in here. I love hearing him talk. And I really, really am enjoying watching his teams play because I feel like, not because I know basketball, but I feel like I know what they're trying to accomplish. And nothing against Frank Martin. I'm a big Frank Martin fan, and I'll repeat it just for transparency's sake. He did a lot for me at times, but I really enjoy watching what Lamont Paris is doing because I'm seeing an offense. Like I'm seeing actual plays designed. I'm seeing almost a game plan that's put together. I thoroughly enjoy watching this team right now. And by the way, last night was the first time I've been able to really watch them when they didn't play at 11:30 on a Friday night or 9:30 on a Friday night. It was kind of nice to see them at 7 o'clock, a regular time where I was coherent and knew what was going on.
Well, I agree with you. And I don't know if we hit on this last week, but it was, last season I kept trying to figure out what are we watching there? Like, what are they trying to achieve? What is the ultimate goal? Who is this basketball team and what do they want to be? Now you can see it now. Now you can see it and you can see his plan. I told Derek Scott, I crafted this little, I guess maybe I'll patent it. I don't know, but I crafted this little saying while I was watching them play. I said, they're in their own version of AA. And he said, what are you talking about? I said, they attack and they answer. And that's how they won the game yesterday. They answered. I mean, how many runs did GCU? GCU would come down and they'd pop a couple of shots. Carolina's up 11. All of a sudden, they're up 2. No problem. Jacoby Wright, DJ Mack, those guys settle down, hit shots. That has not, and we all know this, that has not been the case around here in a long time. I mean, a long time. Even the team that went to the Final Four, it took them a while to kind of develop that trait. And so I've really enjoyed watching these guys, and you know what? Here's the thing too. They're starting 3 graduates and I think 2 juniors. So, I mean, I think they're the 11th most experienced team in the country. So he went to the portal and got good players who can shoot and things like that, but also guys who've been around a while and they understand how to play the game. They've been through the ups and downs and the highs and lows and all the emotions of the game. And I think that that's been very important to their 5-0 start.
Yeah, I agree. I watched a decent amount of the game last night, and there was one specific possession where you could see them. They came down court, swung the ball around. BJ Mack was ready for a three, caught the ball in motion, shot it, and it looked like it was something they had practiced. And it reminded me of what Lamont had said when he was here. He said he wants guys ready to shoot, and on that particular team, you're more likely to get fussed at for not being ready to shoot as opposed to, shooting the ball. And you could see, as you said, Jamie, watching them. I've never said that I was a basketball guy, but in about 10 minutes worth of watching them, I said, oh, this is what they're trying to do. And you can see the sort of proof of concept from what Lamont has in his mind translated onto the court.
One thing that stood out to me that I really would have never expected, the level of defense this team is playing right now. I thought maybe as the season went along and they gelled, this team defensively, there's going to be some mistakes here and there, but the length, and I'm surprised by how they've played down low. They've been physical down low. Now, you've still got a lot of games to go, but Jamie and Preston, when I looked at this non-conference schedule, I looked at 3 games in particular that I thought were the toughest, and none of them were at Colonial Life Arena. It was neutral site against Virginia Tech. Well, South Carolina wins that. They passed that one with flying colors. It was last night's game. Whoever it was going to be, San Francisco or Grand Canyon, I thought was going to be the third most difficult because it was a Phoenix. It was out in Arizona. Grand Canyon has picked to win their division. I really thought that's who it would be, but I thought San Francisco would be pretty tough as well. And it's on the road at Clemson. South Carolina's won 2 of those. And they've done it with defense and then timely shooting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so, man, there's a lot to unpack with this team, and I'm glad we're talking about it. I know it's Clemson Carolina week, and I know we'll get back into it. So anybody just who's frustrated by that, bear with us. But look, the defensive side of this team does remind me a little bit of what they did under Frank. And they play aggressively. Now I'll say this, like the guys, and some of them they got right, but the guys who were calling the game tonight, 45 fouls, and about half of those were, guys are getting banged up underneath there and nothing, and then they drive to the lane, nobody touches them, and we're blowing the whistle. Like, I know it's early in the year, and officials, they got to get things cleaned up too, but that's insane, and it's hard to overcome things like that when you're on the road, 10 miles from the campus of the team you're playing in a championship game. That was that like some big crazy crowd? Well, of course not. They're going to see 20 times that all season long, but it was still a difficult environment. And let's keep another couple of things in mind here. I want to make 2 more quick points. I know we got to get a break, but they're 5-0. All right, Bill. And to your point, you've got that Virginia Tech win. You've got this one, but 3 of their first 5 victories are neutral site victories. 3 of their first. It's not like they've just been sitting at home for 5 straight weeks playing the school of the deaf and the blind, and like they have 3 neutral site victories. And that Grand Canyon team is actually a little bit better than people think. Keep an eye on them as the year goes along. One of the things that was very important last night, and I'm not a big social media guy, okay, but did any of y'all see what happened? Did any of you catch what was going on in some of those videos?
Jamie, let me
you know where I'm going with this?
Yeah, we'll get to it. We've got to hit this break, and we'll come back and we'll let you finish that point. All right.
Okay.
All right. We'll be right back.
Ever been on this date?
You're a good-looking man.
Thank you.
Very pretty. Real soft, delicate features. They're real feminine.
And thought, man, I'd rather be listening to the game right now.
Welcome in to the afternoon show. Alongside Elijah Campbell, I'm Jay Phillips.
Well, just go to iTunes or Google Play and download the game app. Sure, you may no longer be with that person anymore, but you'll never be without the game again.
Do you spend more and more money each year trying to keep your house warm in the winter? Then it's time to call the team at Renewal by Andersen of the Carolinas. Right now, you can save $400 per window and $1,000 per door. FreeWindowAssessment.com. That's FreeWindowAssessment.com.
Jay Phillips here with Jacob Crowder with First Palmetto Bank. The real estate market is heating up, and if you're building or buying a new home, you need to call 107.5 The Game's longtime mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder. If you ever needed a guru that's in this market, First Palmetto Bank is owned and operated in the Midlands with local decision makers. Processing and underwriting are made easy. If you're looking to make a move, give Jacob a call at 803-719-1005 or email him at jcrowder@firstpalmetto.com.
With football in the air, we know fall is here, and people will be moving. Here at First Palmetto Bank, we have products that help homebuyers keep payments down. Also, ask me about our refinance options that require zero money out of pocket. Finally, if you're considering building or renovating a home, please ask me about our no-nonsense construction loans. If I can help you, give me a call today, 803-719-1005.
You're making mortgages easy, doing refinancing with no money out of pocket and helping build and renovate. If you're moving, make Jacob Crowder your first call, 803-719-1005.
Thanks, 107.5 listeners. You can also email me at jcrowder@firstpalmetto.com. My NMLS number is 198432. First Palmetto Bank is a member of FDIC and an equal housing lender.
My dad, he's a double amputee, and he's one of my favorite people in the world. To me, a hero is someone who fights for our country and freedom. My dad is a hero. Homes for Our Troops built this house, and my dad can get through the wide doorways. He can reach anything.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post-9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
And now an important message from Josh Groban.
We are missing the sounds of a busy morning, the sounds of joyfulness, crowded sidewalks. We are missing the soundtrack of our lives. We all yearn to connect again, and we will, but we must keep following the necessary guidelines until we are all safe. Please get vaccinated. Let's bring back the soundtrack of our lives. Let's unite to prevent.
For more information, visit unitetoprevent.org.
If you have tax problems, it can affect all aspects of your life. Now's the time to do something about it. Hi, I'm local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. Everyone at our firm truly believes we can improve the lives of our clients by eliminating the stress and worry of IRS tax problems. We're a local South Carolina law firm dedicated to resolving your tax problems for good. Simply put, we solve tax problems. So if you're facing IRS tax liens, bank or wage levies, or have years of unfiled tax returns, come meet with us in person. Your first visit is free and confidential. We'll show you how we will solve your problem and how much it'll cost. So don't put it off any longer. Call us now at 803-771-9800. That's 803-771-9800. Or go to our website at irsproblemsolving.com. It is time to do something about that tax problem. Your solution is right here in South Carolina, so hire a South Carolina attorney. Hire me, John Ecton.
Jumpstart your holiday shopping with Hand & Stone's Holiday BOGO event, Black Friday weekend only. Buy one guest price massage or facial gift card and receive a free massage or facial promotional gift card at any of their Columbia area locations. Visit handandstone.com for exclusive online deals. Restrictions apply. See spot for details.
How wrestling really works and how you get the ratings. Eric Bischoff and Conrad Thompson explain on 83 Weeks.
Wrestling right now is incredibly profitable. Do you feel like we're in a boom period with wrestling?
It's undeniable. The numbers dictate the facts. And the facts are the numbers are bigger now than they've ever been. There's more revenue being generated. There's more distribution. The product is being accepted on a mainstream level in ways heretofore we've not seen.
83 Weeks on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Strengthening the lives of children and families is a passion. Turn that passion into results as a child welfare case manager. Learn more at dss.sc.gov. This message is sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Social Services.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Definitely a busy Monday morning out there. I-77 southbound at the bridge over the Congaree River, mile marker 4. There is an object on the roadway causing a little issue. I-77 southbound at Two Notch Road, an accident there. Also I-77 southbound at Farrow Road. I-20 westbound at Two Notch Road, an accident. Gervais at Millwood, there is an accident there in downtown Columbia. Also Fairmont Drive at Mayburn Road and Connie Wright Road at Coon in Irmo. and you're looking for a high of 66.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Mark will wrap it up. Now he gives it to Jacoby Wright. Wright will dribble out of trouble, and you can put Spurs on this one. The Gamecocks get to 5-0 as they defeat Grand Canyon here, 75-68. A hard-fought contest, great shooting, and in the second half, a very much improved effort in terms of taking care of the basketball and some gritty play against a very physical team.
Good time to be a basketball fan for sure. And in fact, we have some women's basketball tickets to give away to tonight's game. 7 o'clock tonight at Colonial Life Arena. It is the women against South Dakota State. And should be a great game. Seriously, is any game, honestly, a bad game when you're watching Dawn Staley and Company? So we got a pair of tickets to call in number 7 right now, 803-404-6100. Good luck.
It's called now. There you go. Jen will get that. We'll get you some tickets again. 7 o'clock tip time. You can hear it right here on 107.5 The Game. Pre-game starting at 6:30 tonight. 107.5 The Game here in Columbia. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach is how you can listen. Joined as we are each and every Monday by Jamie Bradford, who was making a point about social media and what you saw last night. Jamie, I apologize for interrupting you there. We had to hit that break, but keep on. Where were you going with that?
But they invited everybody to come watch them play. And that might not sound like a big deal, but did you not notice that? Hey, we're 5-0. Come see us. Maybe you should come check us out. We're playing Notre Dame next week. Why don't we sell the place out? You only really hear that around here when it comes to football. Like, you don't ever see that when it comes to men's basketball. So they've made some, they've won some games. They've created some energy. And now, there's a buzz, and these guys are confident in that buzz, in themselves. That might not sound like a big deal, but I mean, can you go back the last 10, 15 years and remind any of us of when you saw this men's basketball team looking into a camera saying, come sell out the arena. Hey, we got Notre Dame next week. Come sell out the arena. We're undefeated. We're champions. Come see us. I can't remember ever seeing that. I think that's a big deal. And I think you can tell that they truly believe in themselves just by how confident they are. And I sure as heck hope that they get that sellout next Tuesday night.
Yeah, I mean, I know that this has been a big discussion, Preston and Jamie, throughout for a long time as it pertains to the marketing of men's basketball. I know I've seen a lot of, just internet posts in the past about how the raising of the Final Four banner was handled and so forth and so on. And look, South Carolina basketball is for the better part of 50 years has been truthfully and honestly one of the worst basketball programs, high major basketball programs in the country. We all know about the Frank McGuire days. Frank Martin had some nice runs. South Carolina was probably as competitive as they had been for an extended period of time. But Lamont Paris is building essentially from scratch. Part of that's because of the transfer portal. When you lose guys like Jermaine Couisnard and Devin Carter, and you can go through all the guys that they lost that are out there. I was trying to think of somebody else watching play the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that person was with South Carolina or whatever over the weekend. But it is Lamont Paris, and he can fully embrace this program and do, Jamie, what you just said, and Preston, and try and promote it and get people to come out against a name brand program in Notre Dame a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, it's hard to promote something that you're not necessarily, not so thrilled to say. If you have your house, you want to make sure you clean up your house before you have somebody come over. You want to give things for people to see. And when you're not necessarily too proud of that, it's tough to invite people to that. So now I feel like, as Jamie's saying, they're saying, hey, come check us out. I know you might have been doing your own thing, but this might be something worth getting on now instead of later.
Yeah, they got a chance. Hey, 11-0 football, men's basketball, women's basketball. They're 11-0 in the month of November right now.
They are, and again, we will continue to follow this very closely and talk about it as we wrap up the football season. But you look at this non-conference schedule for South Carolina and the next few weeks, and there's really, if they can continue to play at this level. And last night, you go back to again what they did. Really nice night. BJ Mack 7 of 12 from the floor, finishes with 27 points last night, 3 rebounds, 4 fouls. He was able to keep himself there late in the game from fouling out. And then you get a nice night from Miles Studi, who finishes 5 of 9. The Gamecocks are at 5 of 9 and 12 points. And the Gamecocks as a team last night, again, not a 3-point performance that I think you would be like, wow, that won them the game. Just 7 of 17, but they shoot 54%. This is a team that gets a very good look at the basket the majority of the time. And it doesn't feel forced. And I love that with this team. Now, Michi Johnson, he is kind of like Will Ferrell in Elf, where he's standing there screaming, I love you, I love you. Anytime he comes across half court, there's not a shot he has seen that he doesn't love. He will let it go from anywhere on the floor. But, again, really good. And the other part, guys, last night, Talon Cooper leads the team, 5 assists. Jacoby Wright had 3, 18 total assists last night on 27 made baskets. That's another really good sign of being able to create and develop and get yourself open looks at the basket.
Being able to throw the ball around and
unselfish.
everybody can catch it and catch it and ready to shoot, like Lamont said. That's what he wants to build.
There's no doubt. Very unselfish basketball team. 2/3 of your baskets are assisted. Very unselfish. Very, very unselfish.
Again, as Jamie pointed out, again, this is a team 5-0 at this moment. They will get a full week off. They'll have a Thanksgiving week off and will not be back in action until Notre Dame, 7 o'clock next Tuesday night, not tomorrow night, but next Tuesday night, the 28th. And then they'll have a home game the following Friday, December the 1st against George Washington. Then you get the big rivalry game Wednesday, December 6th at East Carolina, and that'll be followed up on a Saturday, December the 9th they get the rivalry game against at Clemson on Wednesday, December the 6th, and that's followed up with a Saturday contest at East Carolina. So that's your next 4 games, but again, a full week off for them. So really good timing for them. They're able to kind of maybe have momentum going into this week-long break. Lamont Paris and his staff can show them some videos, some tape, and say, here's what we're doing great. Let's continue doing that. Here's what we're doing wrong. We'll see what the health status of Colin Murray Boyles is as we get toward the Notre Dame game, but a lot of good things there. And as we mentioned tonight, also the women's team now back to number 1 in the country, taking on South Dakota State over at Colonial Life Arena. 6:30 pregame right here on 107.5 The Game, 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. 7 o'clock tip time. 803-404-6100. We'll get Jamie's look ahead. He and Preston will look ahead.
Jamie, all right, I know we've been tempered. We've been measured. We've had perspective all season. But it's here, Jamie. It's here.
Yeah, that's over.
Okay.
That's over.
There we go. Thank you, sir.
803-404-6100. We will go with Jamie into a look at the South Carolina Clemson game this coming Saturday. You're listening to the early game.
Download the 107.5 The Game app and listen anywhere. The beach, the gym, and yes, even there. Go to iTunes or Google Play and snag the 107.5 The Game app.
This is Boomer Science with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. For the first time ever, Cleveland, Detroit, and Jacksonville have all won 7 of their first 10 games. Elsewhere, the Texans triumphed despite C.J. Stroud's off day. Miami controls the AFC East, although Buffalo saved its season at least for another week. And don't look now, but Denver, they've won 4 straight. I'm Boomer Esiason.
Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Must be 21 plus and present state where Florida wager. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino LLC. First online real money wager, only $5 pregame moneyline wager required. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-800-522-4700. Visit KSGamblingHelp.com in Kansas. 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia or call 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming. Help is here. Visit gamblinghelpma.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
Life matters. When the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth Rock, they believed God was with them and that his mercies were everlasting. Their whole existence was centered around the belief that God loved them and was committed to their care. Thanksgiving was a way of life for the Pilgrims, and we all know the story of the first Thanksgiving festival shared with the Native Americans. We joined them in a traditional Thanksgiving once a year, but we ought to think seriously about making gratitude an everyday experience. The psalmist encouraged Israel to bless the Lord daily and not forget his blessings toward us. To bless the Lord means to speak well of him and give thanks for his intervention in our lives. Remembering our blessings daily will make life richer and more easily enjoyed. Thanksgiving's easier when you're part of a community committed to that process. This is Stephen Chitty, pastor of Christian Life. Christian Life, we're learning to give thanks daily as we recognize God's providential care in our lives. Join us on Sundays or visit us at ChristianLifeColumbia.com. And remember, life matters, and so do you.
Have you heard about the new 16-month certificate State Credit Union is offering? It comes with a fantastic annual percent yield of 4.73%. You heard it right, 4.73% APY. To open your new 16-month certificate, visit one of State Credit Union's 19 full-service branches. For a list of locations, visit scscu.com/locations. Limited time offer, $500 opening deposit required. State Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Trucks, we want trucks. New Silverados are on the ground now, and more are on the way to Herndon Chevrolet. We're taking up to $15,000 off to get you in your new truck. Stop by your hometown Chevy dealer and shop all your favorite models at prices you'll love. Find new roads at Herndon Chevrolet or visit us online at herndonchevy.com today. Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile, smile.
It's Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by Carolina Honda Powerhouse. CarolinaHonda.com.
Your home of the Gamecocks in the Midlands. 107.5 The Game. Also heard on the Grand Strand at 100.3 The Game. And in the PD at 100.5 The Game in Florence.
It is here, and it feels a little like the 90s. Feels a little like the 90s. I don't know why. I'm just like giddy that we're having a throwback South Carolina Clemson game. We got an average Clemson team coming in. They're bowl eligible, 7-4, playing better. If Omarion Hampton knows how to hold onto a football and doesn't carry it like a loaf of bread, maybe North Carolina wins that game. But the Clemson's playing better. South Carolina's playing better. South Carolina, kind of like the 90s, looking for bowl eligibility. And here come the Tigers with a chance to stamp that out. Guys, it looks like 7.5, 8 is the number that's going to be, I don't know, probably around game time. We'll see how that changes. By the way, the Kentucky spread, I don't know if y'all saw this. It jumped from Kentucky minus about 2.5, 3 to South Carolina being favored by the start of that game. But, Jamie, we'll start with you. I mean, it's a different version of the rivalry, and South Carolina is going to come in with more confidence because of what happened last year.
Yeah, well, yeah, that Kentucky game ended up, I think the Gamecocks were 2.5-point favorites. The Clemson line is actually down from where it opened. It's down to 7 now. So it looks like some early cash coming in on Carolina. But, yeah, man, I mean, look, both of these teams have won they played in November, and that was both of their goals. And, the Tigers still have a chance to get to 9 wins this year if they can beat Carolina and then go in and win a bowl game. Gamecocks have a chance to get to 7 wins. If they can win on Saturday night, get to a bowl game, and that would be one less than what they had last year. It does feel a little bit like the 90s. But, it also feels like, and this is just my opinion, it also feels like this game could be the deciding factor in the future of both of these programs. And Carolina is a team that's been trying to get it together under Shane Beamer, and he's given them some juice from where they were. Clemson this year has had their worst year in a while, and so you wonder if they get beat for the second year in a row by Carolina, what does that do for the future of their football program? And the Gamecocks now getting healthy here at the end of the season, what will that do for their football program in the offseason?
I think that's important, man, because there could possibly be a pretty strong shift in the way, the perspective of how these players and teams view each other. As you said, Clemson is coming off having the worst season they've had in a long time. Dabo's been ranting against everybody, buy your stocks, Tyler from Spartanburg. All things have happened, and I would say that fan base is more fragile than usual. And Lord forbid that if some mediocre team from the concrete jungle in Columbia beats the team that comes from God's country or whatever they say, that would not be. You would see meltdowns all across the state for sure.
Last year was
Well,
Go ahead.
No, it's your show, Bill. Go for it. I was just jumping in.
Well, what I was going to say is just last year was such a shocker. I don't know how much, and Jamie, get back to your point, but I don't know how much South Carolina winning last year maybe affects a little bit of the psyche of Clemson, the players, the team, in that, oh, wait a minute, they can beat us. Because I think going into last year, there was a mindset of it doesn't matter what they do. I'm not even sure they can score on us, let alone beat us.
And
Jamie.
they weren't wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they weren't wrong at all. I mean, and South Carolina's got number 7. And I tell you what, Spencer, you want to be, not that he won't already be beloved around here for the rest of his life. Go out and beat these guys one more time. And after you're done with the NFL, you can come back and be the mayor or the governor, whatever you want to be. This state will open its arms and doors to you, and you walk right in and do whatever the heck you want to do. Marcus Lattimore type status, Connor Shaw type status in Columbia, South Carolina. So, look, Carolina can beat Clemson. The Gamecocks they got to be able to run the football a little bit better. The Tigers, Cade Klubnik, this is going to be his first start in an environment. He hadn't seen an environment like this yet on the road. He just hasn't. I mean, I guess maybe the most comparable would be NC State. The Williams-Brice Stadium is going to be a little bit louder and a little bit more hostile than what it was like up there at Carter Finley. So here we go. Like you were saying, here we go.
It's going to be a big one. Real quick, I know Shane Beamer last night on his teleconference, at least opening the door to the possibility of Juice Wells playing. I feel like this is more of a tease and a setup, but Jamie, I'll start with you. Juice Wells, since we won't talk to you the rest of the week, what do you think? What are the odds? You want to put a percentage on it?
I'll just say this. I don't think Shane Beamer's lying.
Dun, dun, dun.
I just don't think he's lying. Doesn't mean he'll play, but he's not lying.
Let me ask this. If Juice plays, we know he's a good player, but he hasn't played since the Georgia game. I assume he's healthy. Like, I assume now if he's playing, he's 100%. There should be no problems. You should not be able to re-aggravate it. You know the chemistry that Xavier Legette and Spencer Rattler have developed, all because Juice Wells isn't here. How much does it change the offense? Or because you're shoving a great player back in quickly like this for one game, does it actually throw off the chemistry or rhythm a little bit? It might sound stupid, but now you're thinking, oh, I should probably look at Juice more than I look at Xavier.
I would defer to Preston on that. I don't think it does.
Preston?
I don't think it throws anything off.
I don't think it should throw anything off, and I agree with you. There is something where, he comes in the game, and Juice maybe, I know you're coming back to play, sir. It's been great, but this whole family's been operating without you for the past 12 weeks. We appreciate you here, but you don't get the same looks that you may have gotten. And he just needs to understand that, and everybody needs to understand that going into that situation.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, oh, you hold them out. It's just, you put those two guys back out there, and they haven't operated together this season with Xavier Legette being who he is, the different Xavier Legette. Jamie, good luck with that turkey, man. Oven. You're sticking with the oven, right?
Well, my mom's doing it this year, but my wife makes a killer pumpkin pie cheesecake. So I'll sit back and enjoy those aromas.
Enjoy your Thanksgiving. We'll catch up with you next week. Oh,
guys, happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you,
Take care.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
It's that time of year. Are your gutters getting clogged with leaves and pine needles? Never risk getting on that ladder again. Canty Foundation has the best covered gutter in the industry. Visit them at cantygutters.com for more information on the gutter shutter system or call today for a free estimate.
Do you spend more and more money each year trying to keep your house warm in the winter? Then it's time to call the team at Renewal by Anderson of the Carolinas. Right now, you can save $400 per window and $1,000 per door. FreeWindowAssessment.com. That's FreeWindowAssessment.com.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet, where saving is always the name of the game. The lowest price, guaranteed, or they'll pay you $1,000. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? I'm Dr. Mark Bentley with Columbia Secret for Weight Loss, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged or boxed meals, no surgery, and no hypnosis, call my office now at 803-824-4210.
Hi, this is Kyle. This weight loss program sure has been great to me. I've lost 93 pounds in just 4 months, only 20 pounds away from my goal weight. It has surely changed my life.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. It's a half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 803-824-4210. That's 803-824-4210. Or ColumbiaSecretForWeightLoss.com.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
I'm Ben Affleck, and I want to thank you for joining me and supporting Paralyzed Veterans of America.
I joined the Navy to serve my country. While parachuting with my platoon, my parachute didn't open, and I broke my neck.
Thanks to PVA, paralyzed veterans are getting specialized medical care and treatments, the jobs they want, and the accessible vehicles and homes they need.
I just don't think my family would be as happy as they are without the support that I received from Paralyzed Veterans of America.
Learn more at PVA.org.
It's 4 a.m. and you're sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. If you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
And it is definitely busy out on the highways this morning. Fairmont near Mabron Road in Columbia, an accident. Also in downtown Columbia, Gervais Street near Millwood Avenue. We're seeing a report of an object on the roadway, I-77 southbound at Faro Road. So be careful there. Also an accident, South Beltline Boulevard near Plowden Road. So just be cautious this morning. 66 will be our high. Rain tomorrow.
KTFM Eastover, Columbia.
Hey, this is Jalen Nichols from South Carolina Football. You're listening to 107.5 The Game, home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
It's Reaction Monday. Tell us all about it.
Jim Foley caught at the 21-yard line. Xavier Legette with back-to-back catches, and he's got the Gamecocks inside the 25.
Sponsored by Carolina Honda Powerhouse, your local Honda superstore for motorcycles, ATVs, side-by-sides, scooters, and generators. CarolinaHonda.com.
Your home of the Gamecocks in the Midlands. 107.5 The Game. Also heard on the Grand Strand at 100.3 The Game. And in the PD at 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Braswell's in at the tailback spot. Rattler working out of the shotgun. Kentucky looking like they want to blitz. And 2 seconds left on the play clock. They get it off. Rattler in the pocket. In route to Leggett. Touchdown, Carolina. Touchdown, Xavier Leggett. Are you kidding me? Rattler again comes through at Williams-Brice Stadium. People in his face, and he guns it 17 yards to number 17. Their second hookup on the night, and with 7:44 to go in the ball game, the extra point could make it 17-14 Carolina. Boom!
That was the touchdown that put South Carolina in the lead for good on Saturday night. By the way, and I heard in the post game a good point about this. Look, there was a lot of people as I walked out of the stadium who were excited, Preston, but a lot of people going, man. If we had, and by the way, as we're walking out of the stadium, Florida's choking away the game against Missouri. But a lot of people walking out of that stadium was going, man, if we'd have just held on against Florida, held on, be bowl eligible, you wouldn't be trying to accomplish it this week. And this was a similar situation in that one, South Carolina went up by 10 with about 7 minutes to go, and the defense fell apart. In this one, South Carolina went up by 3. And then basically the offense started going, hey, let's see what the defense can do now.
For sure. I know the defense is like, all right, we got you one stop. We should be good, right? Right? We got to stop. You've been telling us all year we just needed one stop. We got it. Oh, we need another one. Oh, we need another one too?
Yeah.
3 of them in
Tonka gets the interception. We're all like, game.
Game's over.
All
the
right.
game is over. But except it wasn't. And they wanted to make it interesting. I guess maybe the offense is like, hey, go win us one. And then, like Jamie said, that I believe this is the first game. Yes, it's a team win, all 3 phases, blah, 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 blah. This is the first defensive win of the season.
It is. And going back real quick to that touchdown pass, I don't know if people were with me, maybe because of where I sit in the end zone opposite of the student section. I've got a great view of the play clock ticking down while seeing the play. And it gets to like 3, and I'm just like, call timeout. Just don't mess this one up. We're in field goal. Call it. Okay, they snapped it. Preston, I've rewatched some of the game. I don't have that coach's view. What made Kentucky so successful on Saturday night was a big change that they made early on. They were playing man-to-man, and South Carolina was lighting them up. And when Kentucky was getting to Spencer Rattler, he was taking off and scrambling. One of the best scramble games he was having. He was getting free. South Carolina couldn't block Kentucky, but Kentucky was playing man-to-man, and South Carolina was taking advantage of it. Kentucky switched to a zone.
Which is what they do.
Yeah, again. Yeah, they switched to a zone. And again, but then because South Carolina couldn't block the front 4, was having all kinds of problems with the big guy in the middle. And what happened there is Kentucky dropped 7, and there was nowhere to go with the ball. And they were still able to get pressure on Spencer Rattler. And with 7 back there and 3-4 guys in right, there was nowhere to throw the football.
And that goes to your point. If you're a Kentucky fan, you're furious because there's no way Xavier Leggett catches this touchdown ball. Anybody but him. There's nobody else that they're going to throw the ball to. You know that specifically. And for Xavier Leggett to be that wide open to catch that ball, as a Kentucky fan, you're like, man, what are we doing? How does he get the chance to catch that ball?
2 plays. Just unbelievable. I really was shocked that Kentucky went man, and it cost them the game. I don't know if South Carolina moves the football against Kentucky with them having their 4-man front and dropping 7, but 2 plays absolutely did them in. 1st and 10 at the 40, Trey Knox with a big pass. He kind of ran like an inside route. Rattler was able to scramble a little bit to his right. Knox broke it back out, and because it was man, he got leverage to the outside, and that ended up being a 22-yard pass that got South Carolina down to the 18, because the third down completion to Xavier Legette in the zone was one that I think will happen from time to time. I don't know if South Carolina could have kept moving the football at that point, but I could not believe on that third down, 3rd and 9 at the 17, I could not believe that they went man and went one-on-one with a guy who's played with a wide receiver. I'm not going to call him the best in the country, but what I will say is he's playing as good as any wide receiver in the country.
You'd have to do your research to find 5 better.
Right.
Period. And that's what I'm saying. Even when the field, and that's why it's so tough to score in the red zone, because the field is shortened down. There's less space. So now when you run that zone, you basically, the top is already set for you by the back of the end zone. So they can't go deep. Everything should get tighter and shorter, the windows. And they just seem to have gone against what they do very well. I don't know why they started off doing that. They started off doing 2 things that they don't do. They don't do run tempo, and they don't play man-to-man. But for some reason, they felt like they needed to do that, which was cool. Whatever. We'll take it. But if I was a Kentucky fan, I'd be very upset.
Yeah, the other part to that, and I don't, because it just feels like it's happened. I don't know. I guess sometimes we dwell on the negative and not on the positives. But it feels sometimes that this is what happens to South Carolina, where, remember, South Carolina was in 2nd and 26. And you just go like, oh, okay, how are we going to get 26 yards? And they come back, and there's the big pickup, the pass to Legette for 17 yards that puts them in a position at least to have a makeable first down. Because 2nd and 26, if you only pick up 9 there and it becomes now 3rd and 17, that also probably changes Kentucky's mindset of play calling, or South Carolina's mindset of play calling. It changes everything. But instead, you pick up 17, and it goes from 2nd and 26 to 3rd and 9. And it feels like in my life with South Carolina, like you get somebody in 2nd 26, you're like, all right, we should be in a position to get out of this. Oh, no, we just gave up a 2nd and 20. Okay, now, yeah, all right, they just gave my first down.
Yeah, and you think about the play call that was made at that point. It's not saying that Dow Loggins was waving the white flag, but he was just essentially saying, if we get something here, cool. If not, that was a very conservative play call, not expecting to get that amount of yards out of that play. But you get it to your playmaker, who, to your point about last segment, that play gets called. That's the play that they called for Juice Wells against Georgia. It's that same call, right? Now that play is being called for XL. If, by chance, Juice gets the play, when he comes back into the huddle, he has to realize, like, hey, sir, we're not calling that play for you anymore. You're clearly our number 2 guy, which I hope he understands and accepts that. But they made the play, and then they go on and convert.
Well, and again, you just mentioned it. It just and also I think for a lot of us out there, we still battle these inner demons, if you will, these thoughts of history. What you just mentioned, South Carolina on 2nd and 11 at the 19. Rattler hits Mario Anderson. They're down to the 10-yard line. They've got the first down, and there's an illegal block on Omega Blake. And that's what sends it back 15 yards to go from 1st and 10 at the 10 to basically, I think it might have been 2nd and 2. I don't even know what the yard. It was right there at it. It was going to be, I think, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, a makeable first down, and instead it becomes 2nd and 26. And you feel like that's what's happened. Kind of like what happened in the third quarter, where South Carolina's in field goal right at the 31. If Spencer Rattler throws the football, you're lining up for a field goal. Instead, Spencer Rattler gets sacked for a loss of, I think, 19, like just a ridiculous sack that had no business.
I've never played quarterback, but I always wonder what happens when quarterbacks' minds when they think, I'll just keep running backwards. maybe if I run backwards far enough, they won't catch me. But every quarterback does it at some point. It's just like, whoa, and they just keep going back. Like, sir, you're going the wrong way.
That's the very old EA Sports college football, like back when we were in college, where you just get somebody, you just drop way like 40 yards back, and then they just chunk it downfield, and you're like, that's unfair. That's not real football. That's not how it works. You can't run backwards in real life.
Every quarterback does it at some point, and it's like, man, that's never works.
That was painful and took South Carolina out of field goal range. What would have, I think at the time, cut it to 14-13, I believe, it would have been cut it to 14-13. But anyway, South Carolina goes on and wins the football game, and again keeps the goal in front of you. I will say I'm trying to try to place where beating Clemson and finishing 6-6 stands. The win over Clemson would be something, the second straight one. I still don't know how much you celebrate 6-6 because you can make the case, well, we shouldn't have been 2-6 to begin with. I'm the momentum of the program, like it would feel great. Don't get me wrong, it feels great, but then you look up and you're like, oh, okay, well, we're 6-6 and we really need to win this bowl game to finish above 500.
Yeah, that's going to be the conversation that we need to have throughout this week. What is the season based on your expectations? Have you adjusted expectations throughout the season and now you've been pleasantly surprised? All of those things are in play, and everybody does have a fair argument on either side. The only thing that cannot happen, or the only outcome where you don't have in those conversations, is if they lose on Saturday.
Right.
But if you win on Saturday, all of those conversations are fair.
I'm trying to think. Somebody hit us up earlier, live stream or text. I'm not sure. I forget, and I apologize for that. But one of the things that somebody just said, I'd rather take 6-6 with a win over Clemson than 9-3 with a loss to Clemson. And it is an interesting take in that standpoint because 9-3 is a great. Don't get me wrong, 9-3 is incredible. I can kind of understand where that person's coming from because of the way this series has gone so lopsided in the last decade. That South Carolina earning some respectability back against Clemson, because it's not just that the series was lopsided; it was that the series wasn't competitive.
It was out of control.
Yeah, it was. There was too many games that there were 30, 25, 30-point beatings that were being handed out. And that's why I can almost go, yeah, I can see right now going 6-6, but beating Clemson. Look, let's not undersell getting a second straight win against Kentucky.
Yes.
I mean, next you got to try and fix that Missouri thing next year while not screwing up the Kentucky game
one
again.
at a time. You just, all the holes in the boat. You fixed one, though. I think we got that one fixed. I think this Kentucky thing, what type of game it is going to be. We know what it is, but they've proven that they can win these types of games. And to me, that's what was so special about that game. It wasn't a high-flying affair. The offense wasn't clicking on all cylinders. It was an ugly, in-the-mud type of game, and they still figured out a way to get it done.
By the way, just to throw this out there, we'll do At Least We Ain't. We got Thorns, Buds, and Roses. But did you see – now, it's Louisiana Tech. But did you see – what Jacksonville State did to Louisiana Tech on Saturday?
No, I didn't.
I'll tell you about that. I'll get you the numbers from that. We got Thorns, Buds, and Roses. We'll do a little At Least We Ain't. We got a couple that we could pick and
I got a good one.
5 and 6. We're in a little bit better place to play. At Least We Ain't right now. We're in a little bit better place to play that. We'll do that. You got a lot to get to this hour if you want to be a part of the program. We're also looking for, I think it's an interesting conversation as far as the turkey. People are weighing in. Do you feel better about the oven?
I feel like it's coming in. I feel like
it feels like people are embarrassed to say it. It's like if they had to put their name behind it, they'd be, nah, smoker.
Yeah.
Grill.
It's not you're not going to be with the cool kids if you're putting it in the oven, but you will run solid, basic, fundamental football. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Put it in the oven.
803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game.
Yes, that phone in your pocket or purse will keep you in touch with your family and friends. It will take great selfies of you on amazing adventures or just this morning's breakfast. And it's pretty good in case of an emergency. But the single most important function of your phone is the game.
But both defenses have been this year. What's so funny?
The noise. You can listen anywhere. Just go to iTunes or Google Play and download the game app now.
It's November at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. No money down and no payments until February 2024. Plus, save $8,000 off every new 2023 Jeep Compass and Renegade, $11,000 off every new Jeep Gladiator, and $12,000 off every new Jeep Grand Cherokee. Plus, Galliana will get you out of your current lease or loan, even if you have months left or still owe thousands. So if another dealer asks you for any down payment at all, just say no during our November sales event. Drive home a new Chrysler or Jeep with no money down and no payments until February 2024. Every new 2023 Jeep Compass and Renegade, $8,000 off. Every new Jeep Gladiator, $11,000 off. And every new Jeep Grand Cherokee, $12,000 off. During the Black Friday sales event at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. Call 779-7300 or GallianaSC.com.
Gotta go to Galliana.
No payments till February 1st with Tier 1 approval plus tax tag and 489 closing fee. Negative equity refinance. Subject to lender approval.
This is Larry Lightner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Liner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, this is Lisa Hostetler Brown. Do you know the difference between a revocable trust and an irrevocable trust? The difference could easily save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in long-term care costs. Visit lawyerlisa.com to schedule a consultation today.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Honey, you need a trust.
Sports Cap Value is Carolina's source for sportsbook consulting. With a background in engineering and numerical modeling, this can sound more like this. Visit sportscapvalue.com and grab your monthly package today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 years of age or older and present in a state where sports wagering is legal.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. No pressure buying. Best in class service. And a $1,000 low price guarantee. The season's always better in a Love Chevrolet. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads.
As a professional musician, Lachi stays true to her creative vision, even with continuing vision loss from a growing hole in her eyesight. In time, Lachi could face the possibility of total blindness, but she's hopeful because she knows she's not alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding diseases, providing real hope to those fighting vision loss. And our nationwide community of local chapters provides networking and support for people with vision loss, as well as their loved ones, because the best way to fight against blinding diseases is to fight together. And for Lachi, winning means using her voice to bring hope to others with vision loss. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Learn more about how you can help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
107.5 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Fairmount Drive at Mayburn Road in the cleanup stages. Also the accident downtown Columbia at Gervais Street at Millwood Avenue. I-77 southbound between mile marker 4 and 2. South Beltline Boulevard near Plowden Road. Two Notch Road at South Lake Drive. Those are the accidents that we have so far this morning. Be careful out there if you would. We're looking for a high today of 66. Rain coming in tomorrow, 69 for the high, 66 on Wednesday. It's 53 right now on the early game.
It's Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by Carolina Honda Powerhouse. CarolinaHonda.com.
Your home of the Gamecocks in the Midlands. 107.5 The Game. Also heard on the Grand Strand at 100.3 The Game. And in the PD at 100.5 The Game in Florence.
There is a lot to get to here in the next 35 minutes. We need to make fun of some other teams. Now that we're 5-6, we can feel a little bit better doing that. Got to get some thorns, buds, and roses in here, as well as it was an interesting week of college football. We'll play a little bit of At Least We Ain't. I mentioned Jacksonville State, Preston, and I don't know if this makes people happy. I really don't know what makes people happy. South Carolina won that game. And real quick, before I give you these stats, let me just ask you. I know people can say, "Oh, it was Jacksonville State. Oh, it was Kentucky." The defense did get, well, in the Kentucky game, got 3 major stops. But 3 major stops. But the fact that South Carolina's defense had to win those games with stops and by the way, did it by forcing a turnover in each one of them. How much do you think that helps?
Definitely gives you a lot of confidence. There was no reason to have confidence earlier in the season, and the coaches tell you to keep fighting, keep playing, believe the plan, trust the process, all of those things. And then when you start having success, maybe you start to feel like, oh, maybe we can stop. Is it a little bit too late? Maybe, but you're still been able to get the wins that you needed now.
Jacksonville State beat Louisiana Tech over the weekend. All right, it's Louisiana Tech. Let's not get too fired up. Louisiana Tech's 3-9 on the season. But they beat them 56-17, and they did it rushing the ball 60 times.
Yes.
522 yards.
Yes. That's what they do. That's what they do. We're going to run the ball. Quarterback's going to run it. The other quarterback's going to run it, and they will do it.
Yeah, 3 guys went over 100 yards. Jacksonville State threw for 106.
They threw for 100 yards.
For 106 yards, ran for 522. 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in this morning. It's time. Preston Thorne recaps the weekend. Preston Thorne recaps the weekend. We'll get to it.
So I'm sorry. Thorns, Buds, and Roses.
Yes. Sorry.
We have a few too many things going on in the studio right this minute, so I apologize for that. Here you go with the official.
It's time for Thorns, Buds, and Roses with Preston Thorne on the early game. 107.5, The Game.
All right, Bill, here we go. Big weekend of football, a lot of stuff going on. And so you brought up one of my eternal pet peeves, and that is the quarterback slide. It's a thorn in my craw. I despise it. Why do quarterbacks get to be a football player until they don't want to be a football player anymore? They get to do everything that the football players do except getting hit. I understand that you got to protect them in the pocket because they're so fragile and they're so important to the team and their health. But this play with Devin Leary and Debo is a crucial play. We've seen the fake slide. We saw Kenny Pickett do that. He's running. Do I know if he tripped? Do I know if he slid? Why do the quarterbacks get a special privilege once they are outside of the pocket and they're not throwing the ball anymore? I don't understand it. Don't know why we have this rule for quarterbacks. What makes them any different than anybody else on the field?
Precious cargo.
Yeah, I guess. Because
but isn't it if any players? Is it just quarterbacks?
Yeah, but quarterbacks are the only clowns that take advantage of this situation. Everybody, you can slide, but they're the only ones who are like, I slid. Don't touch me, sir. And they always do that stuff. And so, again, Spencer, you're my guy, but you have a tendency to try and, like, once somebody's going out of bounds, you put, like, a little shoulder in them, then you start talking trash, and it's like, relax.
Does that mean you have more appreciation for Steven Garcia? Because I don't think he knew how to slide.
Yeah, he didn't. That wasn't part of his game plan. Quarterbacks, you're fine. Just don't talk any trash when the real football players are playing. Just do your thing. Stand back there, throw the ball, be pretty. Don't do anything else. All right, that's my thorns. Buds, 5-0 start. 5-0 start for the Fighting Quarter Zips. The Lamont Parishes, really interesting. I actually got a chance to put my eyes on them and watch them. It's really cool to see proof of concept, what they're trying to do based on this conversation that we had in here. It's really interesting to see that playing itself out on the court. So keep an eye on it. We'll see how this goes for the rest of the year, but there's something definitely budding there. And last but not least, Bill, I need one rose. One rose.
I thought you were going to say 1.7 million roses, but all right.
What's the 1.7 million for?
That's to go along with each dollar that New Mexico State just got to go to Auburn and collect a W.
On a rare crossover, at least we ate at Thorns.
I felt like that one was too easy, but yeah, all right.
Here we go, Bill. I need one rose, and we're going to present it bachelor style to Shane. We've had the roses that we've had all year. We just need one
Oh.
more win. You brought us this far. Shane, I've told you, this is not the best way to make a living. Don't make us fight this thing out all the way out the year. But Shane has a chance to be. They said they've been going by this phrase. They remember November. You've heard of Mr. October.
Yeah.
Is Shane Mr. November? I have the numbers. If they were successful in this week, Shane would be 9-3 in November. Now, let alone, we're not going to talk about the Florida game that happened last year in November. Not going to talk about that. And the Missouri last year was on October 29th.
That's right.
So it didn't count. In November's, his first year he was 2-2. Last year he was 3-1. Obviously with the big wins against Tennessee and Clemson. This year he has a chance to go 4-0 in November.
Do his home record real quick. You know that?
No, what's the home record?
3 of those losses, 2 of them are on the road. At Missouri.
So Shane almost automatic?
At Missouri in 2021 and at Florida last year.
Okay.
Night games, by the way, if you go back, again, Clemson is the last team to beat South Carolina. Clemson is the last team. I guess I should add a caveat. Missouri last year was a 4:30 kick, so it finished kind of at dark. But Clemson was the last team to beat South Carolina in a night home game, 7 o'clock or later.
Very specific query. I feel like you had to hit, when you're doing the filter buttons.
Night game.
You had to hit like several filters like
night games. I don't want people to be like, well, hey, wait a minute, that Missouri game finished at night. True. And I think Florida technically was right there at the night time.
Dusk.
But yeah.
For the preservation of the statistics.
But Tennessee, obviously Kentucky this year, previous 2 games, noon games, but go back Tennessee last year was a night game. You go back prior to that, Auburn and Florida in 2021 night games. And then you got that Clemson game that was a night game that South Carolina got shut out in. But
we just have one more rose for you, Shane. Please. We're begging you. I know I said last week was the biggest game of your life, and it was until this week.
Yeah,
biggest game of your life, Shane. Let's get it done.
Yeah, it's a big one. But yeah, I don't know. This team, I think there'll be people say, oh, look at the schedule. It's a byproduct of the schedule. Jacksonville State. Remember, people were all worried about Jacksonville State. We were. People honestly were terrified of Vanderbilt last week. Kentucky, I think people actually had more confidence in beating Kentucky for some reason than Vanderbilt, which was odd. But yeah, I don't know. And I go back to it. This team, having beaten Clemson now, has done it. Preston, there was a long stretch, and you were part of 2 games, but there was a stretch there where South Carolina wasn't beating Clemson when you arrived. And, whether it's karma or whether it's fate or whether it's just the team with confidence making plays, you think about that 2000 game up at Death Valley, which Rod Gardner shoved our guy to the ground at the very end, and then they kicked the field goal. But the following season, you win. You win, and it didn't really translate into more victories. Didn't win in 2022. Really, maybe should have won that game. Was up 27-20 going into, I believe, the fourth quarter. I believe it was going into the fourth quarter.
Yes.
But the bottom line is this team, Spencer Rattler, they've done it. They can put it on film this week and be like, hey, I was there. I was a part of that. And not only did they do it, they came back and did it. Down 9 at half. Down 14 at one point.
Which was a great victory, yeah. And to that point, as Jamie said, Spencer already by statistics has put himself in rarefied air as being a Gamecock. Going and beating that team 2 years in a row, he'll cement his legacy for sure.
Yeah, he would go up there with Connor Shaw, obviously. 803-404-6100. We'll play a little. At least we ain't. When you get to 5 and 6, you move up on the list.
There's
of
some people
teams.
that we can look down on. Some folks now.
We can now take a little bit more of a shot. How about that?
It was a little bit tougher at 2 and 6.
2 and 6. I was having to dip into the NFL a little bit.
We had to change the segment at 2 and 6, but we're back, baby.
803-404-6100 is the early game.
Ever sit in this meeting?
What would you say you do here? I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that?
Think to yourself, man, I'd rather be listening to the game.
You're listening to Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
Well, just go to iTunes or Google Play and download our app on all of your devices, and you'll never be without the game again.
Your attention is precious. Blue Cross and Blue Shield Federal Employee Program works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important, like dinner with loved ones. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at fepblue.org.
The Anastapula Law Firm has been recovering millions for their clients for over 30 years. Whether it's a slip and fall, car accident, or any other issues that have resulted from an accident, Anastapula Law Firm can help. Their South Carolina personal injury attorneys have experience fighting for the rights of their clients. Remember, don't scream. Call Akeem. Dial 800-ALL-7s now. Herb Glass is responsible for this ad, and cases are handled at 32 Ann Street, Charleston, South Carolina, 29403. Paid endorsement, not actually client. Results may vary.
It's November at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. No money down and no payments until February 2024. Plus, save $8,000 off every new 2023 Jeep Compass and Renegade, $11,000 off every new Jeep Gladiator, and $12,000 off every new Jeep Grand Cherokee. Plus, Galliana will get you out of your current lease or loan, even if you have months left or still owe thousands. So if another dealer asks you for any down payment at all, just say no during our November sales event. Drive home a new Chrysler or Jeep with no money down and no payments until February 2024. Every new 2023 Jeep Compass and Renegade, $8,000 off. Every new Jeep Gladiator, $11,000 off. And every new Jeep Grand Cherokee, $12,000 off. During the Black Friday sales event at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. Call 779-7300 or GallianaSC.com.
Gotta go to Galliana.
No payments until February 1st with Tier 1 approval plus tax tag and 489 closing fee. Negative equity refinance subject to lender approval.
Gamecock men's and women's basketball season is here. Get your tickets today to join us at Colonial Life Arena and experience the excitement of Gamecock basketball. Visit GamecocksOnline.com/tickets to get your tickets today.
For whatever you may want in most any kind of sport, Todd and More is where it begins.
Todd & More is the headquarters for the holidays. Sporting goods, apparel, accessories, and equipment for almost every sport. Name brand shoes for infants to the big size foot too. Todd & More has hundreds of gift ideas for every budget, from socks, caps, and famous brand shoes to balls, bats, and more. Todd & More is the place for the best names in tennis equipment and apparel. Plus, without a doubt, they are the best place to get your tennis racket restrung. Since 1944, Todd & More is your hometown sports store with a truly experienced sales staff in every department. You'll get unmatched service and the best prices, period. 620 Hugie near the USC campus, open Monday through Saturday. The Christmas kickoff sale is happening now. You'll be glad you shopped at Todd & More.
Equipment for your sport, from the diamond to the court, Todd and More is where it begins. If you can swing it, throw it, hit it, bounce it, bring it, roll it, kick it, pop it.
107.5 The Game On Demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner.
On the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Mr. Rogers said, look for the helpers. You can always find people who are helping. Thank you to all the first responders who put their lives in danger to help us when my brothers and sisters need them. We look out for the helpers because they look out for us. Thank you, first responders.
Learn how you can help first responders by texting BRAVE to 24365.
107.5 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Still kind of busy out there for your Monday morning. Gervais at Millwood still working that earlier tie-up. I-77 southbound between mile markers 4 and 2. South Beltline Boulevard near Plowden Road, an accident. Also, Two Notch Road at South Lake Drive, a report of a tie-up as well. And Alpine Road at Two Notch Road, you'll find an accident. 66 today, 69 tomorrow with that rain coming in. Early showers on Wednesday and a high of 66, but it's sunny and it's 53 right now on the early game.
The early game with Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shin Jensen.
It's the Gamecock Rush of the Game.
Touchdown, Carolina!
Sponsored by Rushes, your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Braswell's in at the tailback spot. Rattler working out of the shotgun. Kentucky looking like they want to blitz. And 2 seconds left on the play clock. They get it off. Rattler in the pocket. In route to Leggett. Touchdown, Carolina. Touchdown, Xavier Leggett. Are you kidding me? Rattler again comes through at Williams-Brice Stadium. People in his face, and he comes at 17 yards to number 17. Their second hookup on the night. And with 7:44 to go in the ball game, the extra point could make it 17-14 Carolina. Boom!
That was our Rush's Rush of the day / pass of the day. We DJ Braswell got a lot of snaps, a lot of runs, a lot of time on the field, which was interesting because we've been trying to see and establish the depth in that running back room, and to have those young guys playing such important snaps is something that is really interesting. Did you have a snap count over there?
I will look it up, and I will look it up and get you a snap count here in just a second. We'll do that, but at least we ain't. There's a couple to choose from this weekend. I don't want to steal yours, but I feel like the Auburn one is a little bit too easy. Can we just do that one as a
let's throw that one out.
Just a communal.
At
least we ain't, because look, everybody knew it was going to be a bit of had to be a bit of a turnaround for Auburn with Hugh Freeze. I don't think anybody expected the turnaround to involve a 31-10. Like, all right, you lose. Nick Saban in his second year lost to Louisiana Monroe. You had to turn things around. That happened. But in this situation, to be beaten on your home field in that manner by New Mexico State.
I believe they were a 25-point underdog. I believe that was
a 25-point favorite?
Yes.
Oh, that stinks. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I believe it was 25 points. And not only to mention that, like you said, New Mexico State got to waltz in there, grab their $1.8 million, and
yeah, again, it's not like they threw a last-second touchdown and celebrated. Like, the fourth quarter was Auburn fans sitting around going,
You imagine Mexico State AD was just like counting his money, like, okay, we got a couple improvements we need to make over here. Got to put a new fence back down in the baseball field. This is
just
nice.
just smoking a cigar, and a big no smoking sign in the Auburn.
I got it. Don't worry, I got the fine money. How much you gonna find me?
Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah, I'll pay for your cleaning. I'll pay for the cleaning. Don't worry. We're getting 1.8 coming in here somewhere. That one stands out. Do you have another one?
I do. Bill, imagine, if you will, you're having a miracle season. Game day has traveled to your campus. You're undefeated. You've been raising sand about how you want to be bowl eligible. You want to win championships. You've written petitions, signed letters. All you have to do is just keep going undefeated. And those pesky Mountaineers jump up and defeat the JMU Constitutioners. What's those guys' name?
I saw it all Saturday morning. I think it's a dog.
Yeah. JMU loses to App State again. As we said, App State's not even particularly very good this year. They're just always pesky. They're around. JMU.
They're the Dukes.
The Dukes,
but the mascot is a dog or something.
Yeah, I don't like teams
with a crown
mascots
on its hat. Yeah, I don't
know. Shout out to you. I'm glad game day got to go. Your coach was on there talking very spicy all year, and you dropped the ball. And so at least we did not have those types of hopes. Our hopes were crushed earlier in the year, and so Shout out to you, JMU, for at least we ain't.
All right, yeah, we can go with that one. I'm going to go a similar vein. But I'm going to go to the West Coast, the other USC.
Oh.
Because look, it's one thing, Vegas over under for South Carolina to start the season was 6.5. They're going to hit that, but it might be because of a half. It might literally be because of one game. You've got the Heisman Trophy winner coming back. You start the season in the top 10. You get to as high as number 5. You're 6-0. You're 6-0. Your dreams of winning the final Pac-12 championship are in front of you.
All the goals were in front of you.
All the goals. And you finished 7-5, and you finished 7-5 while getting kind of blown out by your crosstown rivals. UCLA, I couldn't believe this when I found out this Sunday morning. I just missed it. 38-20 is what they beat Southern Cal. 38-20. And it's not like this was actually the number that really caught me off guard. Caleb Williams had almost 350 yards passing, and they only scored 20 points.
Of course.
It was bad. And you look at Southern Cal was 6-0. They'd beaten San Jose State, Nevada, Stanford, Arizona State, Colorado, and Arizona. And the wheels came off against competition. Notre Dame thumped them. Utah beat them by 2. Washington beat them by 10. Oregon by 9, and UCLA by 18. 4 of those teams were ranked at the time. They're all still ranked, although Utah probably falls out, or it may have fallen. I didn't look, actually, after they got smothered by Arizona.
Yeah.
Give a lot of credit to Arizona.
Arizona's
by the way.
doing some interesting stuff over there.
And it's conceivable that Southern Cal should have lost that one. I don't that program's going to the Big Ten, which I'm guessing is, although this is a great season for the Pac-12. Really good season. Kudos to the Pac-12 in their final season for kind of getting things going and turning it around. But man, oh man, like
are we ready to jump on Preston's Lincoln Riley's a fraud take?
I think the $1 million question is now, because he has 2 playoff appearances at Oklahoma.
Okay.
I want to say he had 4 conference championships. I could be wrong about that. I think it's 4. I don't think it's 3. I think it's 4. He did good things at Oklahoma. He did really good things at Oklahoma. And
Did he?
And last year, well, 2 college, but look, and here's where I'm going with this. But is he? Yeah, in last year they had a good season. But we don't put him in the same stratosphere as maybe some other, and I don't even mean championship coaches, but it's almost like, yeah, he's a good coach. Not a great coach. I don't know how to evaluate Lincoln Riley because you have to give him credit for what he did at Oklahoma. 2 college football playoffs is impressive.
He didn't run the train off the track at Oklahoma, but I mean, was Oklahoma not going to be good? Has he built anything?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Brent Venables last year, they went 6-7.
Yeah,
they
went 6-7 after their whole roster got pillaged by who?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
know. I think it's just very presumptuous. We knighted Lincoln Riley as sort of a golden boy type of coach, and he has not done in his first experiment off on his own maiden voyage at USC. He has been average as grits, just like everybody else, and he's got the brains beat out of him against his crosstown rival. I'm just saying, I don't know.
I think it's a legitimate question, and in what seems like the most Texas A&M thing ever. There was rumors this weekend that there's mutual interest between Texas A&M and Lincoln Riley.
Good luck.
And it doesn't feel like there's anybody more suited to go to Texas A&M and go 8-4 and yet somehow make close to $100 million.
Feels like the trajectory for that he's on.
It feels like this is essentially Lincoln Riley just stumbling rear end backwards into a whole lot of money and really good jobs, and at the same time just not having the true pedigree to be there.
Yeah, I mean, if you really thinking about, if you point out a couple of coaches, because there's only a few, but a couple of guys that you think this guy is going to get it done, I don't see that happening with him.
They go to the bit. He's got to completely redo the defense. I mean, that's a complete rebuild on defense. I assume they're going to lose Caleb Williams. We'll see. It's an interesting thing there for Southern Cal.
There's a lot of space for that.
803-404-6100. We'll wrap up the program when we come back. You're listening to The Early Game.
Ever been on this date?
You're a good-looking man.
Thank you.
Very pretty. Real soft, delicate features. They're real feminine.
And thought, Man, I'd rather be listening to the game right now.
Welcome in to the afternoon show alongside Elijah Campbell. I'm Jay Phillips.
Well, just go to iTunes or Google Play and download the game app. Sure, you may no longer be with that person anymore, but you'll never be without the game again.
This is Former Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by Fairfield by Marriott, official hotel partner of the NCAA. Auburn paid New Mexico State $1.85 million to come out to Jordan-Hare Stadium and spend a pay-to-slay Saturday in East Central Alabama. Coach Jerry Kill's Aggies had a better idea. 31-10 was the final in State's first ever victory over an SEC opponent. I'm Former Esiason.
CBS Sports Radio.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. There are a lot of great dads out there. Sometimes those dads get divorced. For more than 30 years, we've represented men in divorce, confronting the pitfalls that could devastate your finances or harm your family relationships. While every situation is different, our goal is to get the best outcome for you and your kids. Visit CordellCordell.com to take the first step.
Online at CordellCordell.com. 1201 Main Street, Suite 840, Columbia, South Carolina, 29201. Scott Trout, licensed in Missouri, Illinois, and Georgia only.
Paid for by Cordell & Cordell.
Black Friday is now a game day. The Dolphins take on the Jets in the first ever Black Friday NFL game. Stream for free only on Prime. Black Friday football. Dolphins versus Jets. Coverage begins this Friday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Only on Prime. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/watch Black Friday football for details.
Save the date. Join Canty Foundation Specialists and the United Way of Kershaw County on February 24th in Camden for the Caring Hearts benefit. There will be live music by the Mike Veal Band and Camden's own Megan Davis. Dance the night away. Enjoy an open bar and savor food catered by Lil Fritz. Canty Foundation Specialists and the UWKC are coming together to raise funds for New Day Transitional Housing, helping families get a fresh start and a second chance. Tickets are available at Eventbrite under Caring Hearts Benefit or UWKC.net. Let's make a difference together.
One lottery ticket makes a big difference for our state students. And when I say big, I mean bigger than jackpot big. South Carolina students have benefited from more than $6 billion in lottery-funded scholarships and grants, including the Life, Hope, and Palmetto Fellow Scholarships. With every lottery play, you're supporting our students, and that adds up in a big way. That's why education is our middle name. Learn more at scEducationLottery.com/betteryou.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? I'm Dr. Mark Bentley with Columbia Secret for Weight Loss, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged or boxed meals, no surgery, and no hypnosis, call my office now at 803-824-4210.
Columbia's Secret for Weight Loss changed my life. I've lost over 50 pounds, and now I have metabolic flexibility. To me, this program is more than just about fat loss. It's about a lifestyle. Throughout this program, the guidance and accountability help create a pathway to a healthier, better me.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. It's a half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 803-824-4210. That's 803-824-4210 or ColumbiaSecretForWeightLoss.com.
It's Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by Carolina Honda Powerhouse. CarolinaHonda.com.
Your home of the Gamecocks in the Midlands. 107.5 The Game. Also heard on the Grand Strand at 100.3 The Game. And in the PD at 100.5 The Game in Florence.
$8:49 on a Monday morning. I want to remind you, there was no special teams touchdown this past weekend. So now the Lawyer Elisa Special Teams Touchdown Contest up to $200.
Back up.
Back up. There you go. You can register today. Go to 1075thegame.com and sign up. And if South Carolina can get a special teams touchdown against Clemson, we, the early game, will pick a winner live on air next Monday morning. And so go head on over. I don't know what happens if nothing. I have no clue what happens if they lose. If they lose, I'm not real sure what happens on that. We're gonna need some clarification. So head on over to 1075thegame.com to register. Who knows? We might just give away the final 200. I don't know how that will work. I don't know. But head on over and sign up. If South Carolina scores a special teams touchdown this coming weekend, you can win $200. The Lawyer Lisa Special Teams Touchdown Contest. Again, register, sign up, 1075thegame.com. Also want to let you know, coming up today from 10 to 11 a.m. during the Garnet Trust Hour, Xavier Leggett will be in studio joining the guys, so you can hear that. 10 to 11 a.m., the Garnet Trust Hour, Xavier Leggett will be joining Chris and Wes, so should be a really good time this morning. Listen to what he has to say. Final thoughts as tomorrow, given that we will not do a Thursday show, we will kind of start to look ahead more so to Clemson, but final thoughts from the weekend, all for mine. If there was a play of the game, and there's a couple to choose from, the Jordan Strong forced fumble there at the end that fell into the hands of Tonky McPherson. Strong's being held, and he's battled that injury now. He's just not been the same that maybe he was going to be had he not suffered the injury last year against Arkansas. But a lot of credit to him in a play that I don't think, again, because South Carolina had to make stops down the stretch. Like 3 stops.
They had to get 3 of them.
3 of them, and one of those, they get the stop. Kentucky's going to go for it on 4th and 10, Preston. They get a false start penalty, backs them up. Or no, they got to delay a game, makes it 4th and 15. They punt, and they pin South Carolina at the 1. And South Carolina's at least able to get it out a little bit to give Kai Kroger some room. It wasn't like they got stops with Kentucky needing to go 80 yards. They were getting stops with Kentucky almost basically at midfield.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I said. Jamie brought up, and I hadn't really thought about it, but this game wasn't won by the defense for the first time all year. And for all the rightful criticism that we've all had this year, we have to give them props because they went out there and got a big one on Saturday.
Yeah, and again, a lot of credit to Jordan Strong for coming off the edge, being held, still getting to Devin Leary and making that play. Different game this week against Clemson. And yes, we'll see. We will talk more about it as we go through the week, but it looks like, again, South Carolina, as healthy as they've been, but that offensive line is going to have to play a lot better. That's the downside.
Yeah, they didn't play well in the run game, and Kentucky had number 0, and he was the big monster in the middle, clogging things up. But Clemson has a couple of dudes like that. That's wouldn't be a big difference.
How big? I mean, what is it like? Granted, you were a defensive lineman, 6'6", 350, and that guy has a motor to him. He's a solid interior lineman. Clemson has a good defensive line. Don't get me wrong; they don't have anybody like that.
They don't have that guy, but they got some dudes that can really go. They have some dudes that can really go. So I mean, that guy at Clemson, I mean, at Kentucky was very good, and he could continuously play. Had a motor. Clemson has a few of them.
I mean, Deion Walker is a sophomore. Shane Beamer was talking about it in postgame. I was like, man, that guy's got one more year, and then we're ready for him to go to the league. 6'6", 348 on Saturday night. He had 9 total tackle. I don't know if that seems an insane number for a middle of the line defense, like not an edge who's running out to the running backs, not middle of the line guy. 9 total tackles, 8 solo, 1 assisted, and had a sack. And I would imagine 350 pounds. You talk about quarterbacks maybe being a little soft and sliding. I would imagine 350 falling on you is not a good feeling.
Nah, that's not what you want. That's why Spencer was continuously running backwards. He's like, oh boy, not this guy.
Throw the flag. Throw the towel. Throw the towel. That big kid. Clemson doesn't have a guy like that. They have a really good all-over defensive line.
Yes.
And again, we'll get more into it, but yeah, that offensive line, if we did a good, bad, ugly, which we'll do maybe tomorrow, that still was kind of the ugly a little bit. We'll find a different one. But all in all, Preston Thorne, it's Clemson week.
It is.
What do you remember about being a player on Clemson on the Monday of Clemson week?
Monday of Clemson week, Lou Holtz is coming in. He's going to tell us how important the game is. He's going to give us our study guide, and we will be taking a test.
I was going to ask, the old Clemson test Lou Holtz made you take.
We will be taking a test. Now, was your scores dependent on who's playing? I highly doubt that if some folks on the team failed, I'm pretty sure they would have played.
Was that the last part of the meetings? Like, here's your test, and people were like, as soon as I'm done with this, do I get to leave? Am I done for the day? Because
now we had to take it at the team meeting. We had to go take the test. So he always stressed and emphasized how important the rivalry was. And again, this rivalry is so cool. And as getting back to that a little bit more, but at least back in when I played, a lot of the guys were from in-state. So you just knew all of these guys, and you have relationships, prior relationships with them. And so this is the week when you want to go out there and get that thing done.
There's a lot to dig into this week. South Carolina going 6-6, but beating Clemson. How big of an achievement season-wise is that? Something you just brought up. Can a coach overstress a rivalry? Because it did a complete 180 from Lou Holtz to Steve Spurrier. We'll get into that with you. There's a lot to dig into, but the good news is
more depth charts.
Yes, we'll get more into that. We're gonna have to dig back into this oven turkey thing as well, but more depth charts.
Oveners, stand up.
Yeah,
make yourself known. Don't let the smokers and the fryers. Oveners, stand up.
We'll see you tomorrow. All right, I don't know whether it's the oven, the smoker, the grill, the deep frying, whatever it is. Well, one thing's for sure, you got to have a turkey. And the best place to go and buy a turkey, well, it's Old Timey Meat Market. Not only do they have incredible steaks, not only do they have incredible pork chops, you can get incredible fish, you can do stuff. They have so many things. They have hot dogs, and you're like, all hot dogs are made the same. No, they're not. Go visit Old Timey Meat Market today and check out the incredible selection of meats along with the best prices available in town. You can visit one of the 3 locations, Irmo on St. Andrews, South Congaree, or the Lexington store, where you'll probably see me. It might even be an oyster week. Yeah, that's right. I might even pick up some oysters from Old Timey Meat Market. And this much I can promise you, if you need a Traeger grill, Old Timey Meat Market has those as well. Everything you need, whether it's seasonings, whether it's the turkey, whether it's the grill, whether it's stuff for breakfast, Old Timey Meat Market has you taken care of. South Congaree, Irmo, or Lexington, you won't go wrong. Stop by Old Timey Meat Market. Tell them you heard it with Bill Gunner.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
All right, everybody. We're out. As long as I don't smack first one. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Take care.